everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Huber.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Hey.
Brandon Jones.
How are ya?
And on the switcher, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Hello, welcome everyone. Before we get started, I have to give you the objective submitted to us this week by East Dragon.
Oh.
Your objective is pull one off for the old man. Hubert, do you want to take on this objective?
Absolutely. I love honoring legacy, and that's what we're going to do for the old man.
Okay. Ben, would you like to take on this objective?
Absolutely not. Dirty old man.
Brandon Jones, would you like to take on the objective?
I am the old man of Easy Allies. I'm disqualified. I don't think I can, yeah.
You're not. Ian Hink, would you like to take on this objective?
I don't understand it, and for that reason, absolutely yes.
Great. Okay. And there it is. Brandon Jones, please begin corrections music. From Software will be self-publishing Sekiro in Japan. We were wondering that last week. Apparently they self-publish a lot of their Souls games on their own. They don't need anybody bigger when they're in that country. The ancient Greeks were a collection of independent city-states. So while it is true that Athens and some other Greek cities had a direct democracy, other cities like Sparta were monarchies, autocracies, or plutocracies. This is one reason the Peloponnesian War is super interesting. Ideologically and culturally, Sparta and Athens were almost diametrically opposed. And corrections music.
Awesome.
From the madness it was E3, we just had two?
Because it was live last week. So we had a lot of live corrections coming in.
Oh, while we
I was
were okay.
corrected on the
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah.
We had a lot of on-the-fly corrections.
That might be my favorite.
And now we're
correction I've
recording
ever
like
heard
a
on
bunch
this
of
podcast.
ninnies.
Yeah. And now since we're recording ninnies, I thought we had enough space and time to go in deep into ancient Greek politics.
Got a
I learned something.
Yeah.
really good tweet from someone. I wish I could give him credit, but they were like, "Yo, Assassin's Creed is going to be the Templar origins." Because Origins was the Assassins. I was like, that makes too much sense. It gets me really excited, Kyle. I'm sorry.
How about when bad guys start off with good intentions, dude? How about when that happens?
Like Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Yeah, like I could see, like it'd actually be interesting if, like, hey, we should call each other the Templars, and you're like, oh, these were good guys.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's so sad. They had good intentions.
Yeah.
You could see it happening.
The Easy Allies story.
They meant to do good.
Those betting specials got real nasty.
My favorite way to start an Easy Allies podcast is a game announcement. We've had so many. We've had so many game announcements because of E3. We have too many. Normally, I'm happy to get one. 2 is too much for one podcast. Today, I want to talk about 10 games that we saw at E3. Not all of them are brand new announcements, but you know I love to rank the significance. It's a popular segment on this podcast. I want to try something a little new. It's called the Easy Allies Desire Index. The Easy Allies Desire Index. And so you will know as a listener how the Easy Allies rank these games by their desires.
Okay.
I love
This
that
is
you
very
had to
primal.
look up the name of it before you forgot the name of it.
I come up with a lot of things.
I just think of decimals when I hear desire index. Like,
Yeah, we
my
can-
desire index is at a 7.76.
We can go to decimals. So what we're going to do, I hope to talk about 10 games. We'll see if we can cram 10 into this very podcast. Maybe more next week, maybe more the week after that, adding to the index.
How big will this index get?
I mean, I was thinking just the games that were at E3, but if it
Okay.
becomes a popular segment, it might be fun, like, anytime there's a new game announcement to slot it into the index.
Slot it
ongoing
in.
list.
Yeah, and then when a game is released, obviously we no longer desire it.
It's released from the index.
Yes, and so it gets released, it's graduated from the index, and everybody moves up a little bit.
I
Kyle,
love it.
Yes.
in keeping with the Buddhist philosophy that desire is the root of all suffering, can we also have a sister index called the suffering index? That's the suffering that the desire is causing us.
Sure, we could do that.
I'll allow it.
Together for you.
We need 3D graphics for that. This needs to be a 3-dimensional list.
Yeah, it's on the Z-axis.
Okay, sorry. Oh, there's one rule before we get started. You have a power called Everybody Shut Up.
Okay.
Ian, I'm sorry you don't get this power.
Sure he does. He's right by the mixer.
So you may use the Everybody Shut Up power. If we're talking about a game, you can slot that game into any slot you want from 4 to 10.
Okay.
So if you're not liking a game, you can slot it in at number 10
Whoa.
with your Everybody Shut Up power.
Whoa.
And then that power cannot be argued out of that slot. It is there. Unless, of course, someone else uses their Everybody Shut Up power against that and then moves it afterward. You only get one of those per podcast.
Okay.
And how you activate the power is you say, everybody shut up. Okay. It's going to number 6, for example. But yeah, you cannot slot it into the top 3 using your everybody shut up power. It just wouldn't be right. Okay. So I have 10 games I want to talk about. If you want to talk about certain games, you could bring them up, certainly. These are games that I'm interested. I'm interested to see where you slot them in. I think we owe it to ourselves to start with Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game that was announced a long time ago, before the release of Witcher 3 even. We got to see it with our bare eyes at E3 this year. And it's getting a lot of hype. It's getting a lot of attention. It got the Easy Allies Best of E3 award. I wonder if we're ready to slot it in at number 1, but I want the panel to talk about why this game is special.
I mean, right off the bat, anytime you're a studio coming off a landmark title, you know,
We should
one
say
of
the
those,
studio's CD Projekt
CD
Red, I should
Projekt
say,
Red.
yes. Yep.
one of the most celebrated games of all time, The Witcher 3. You know, anything they follow up with is going to get a lot of buzz, a lot of interest. But the
Do you
game
think anything that, like, you know what I mean? Like they had Gwent, the card game.
it's a side. That's not like their next effort, you know. That's like something they're doing on the side.
Sure. But to me, this looks like a bigger effort.
Oh,
even.
of course.
It's like, hey, we're doing Witcher 3 times 2.
Yeah. It looks like the future, and I think that's why people are so excited about it, because the presentation, the 50-minute private presentation, it just showed a lot of interesting things.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
5-0.
Uncut.
Not a lot of downtime in this demo. Not a lot of stuff where you're like, okay, and now we're going to drive to this next area, so I'm just turning my brain off watching it. I'm looking at the road that we're on, the different cars we're driving past, you know, just the various details of the city, the differences of this location we're driving to as opposed to the location we drove from, and getting a vibe of maybe other characters that we would see in this type of an area.
Did you see waypoints? Did you see, like, when I think of open world games, and like Spider-Man showed this, is like the reveal of their waypoints all over the map. Did you have that moment with this?
I actually, one of the things I haven't mentioned about Cyberpunk and all of the coverage that we've done is how tiny those were. You actually had I know a lot of people complain. I've never really had a big issue with it, but I know people complain about damage numbers whenever they're really big.
Sure.
They're like, oh, so, you know, easy with those damage numbers. Really tiny, really muted. Some people complained about the size of the text in God of War, that was a little bit too small.
Even The Witcher had a similar issue with too small text.
They're going to make things as small as they possibly can to cram as much visual information. But I think that's kind of the nature of Cyberpunk, is that if we were to suddenly wake up tomorrow in the year 2077, it would be very hard to comprehend what the hell's going on. Like, there would just be so much, just as the same as if somebody just was to go to bed in 1958 and wake up in 2018 and wait a minute, you know, try to process smartphones and, you know, all this other visual information that we're so used to now, the internet, social media. And so one thing that really stood out was they said, okay, we're going to go down, we're going to meet with our contact. And they went down to the street, and I'm just looking all over the place, and they're like, there's our contact. And I was like, what? Oh yeah, that guy, okay. And they just, like, the crowd parted, and there that person was. And then I realized, oh yeah, there is a little waypoint on that guy that I guess that's what we've been walking toward. But I didn't have this slow introduction into this game. We're just kind of jumping right into it. And so I missed that, yeah, that might have been noticeable to somebody who was playing the game up until this point. But for me, just absorbing all this visual information, I wouldn't have picked that guy out, even though we were introduced to that character already.
Ben, I think it's interesting, coming off of Witcher 3, this game we do have a named protagonist. Everybody will be playing as V, but I think we choose a lot of what V looks like and who V is. Do you think we'll be talking about our characters when this game comes out, when we're playing it?
I do. And I think that's something that they really sold well in the 50 minutes that they showed us is you would expect from the creators of The Witcher to be like, okay, we're going to have a lot of choice. We're going to have decisions that we make in Quest. But I felt like when we were meeting the contact, as we were trying to put this money together, all the different points where it could be like, okay, it's not just like I had this one point and it could branch off and I had essentially like 2 options for this quest. It felt like at every single beat, every mini objective in the quest that we were doing to try to go through with this deal, I had 10 different options. And I think that is what's going to make our character is we're going to be talking about, like, yes, we might get a sense of V in all of these different options, but there are going to be so many branches, so many things that you can do that when I talk to Huber about how this deal went down, Huber's story is going to be a lot different than mine is.
Sure.
You know what I really want from side quests? I was playing Vampire recently. And I was just like going through the motions of like doing the conversation dialogue trees and doing side quests. I really want, and I feel like Cyberpunk could do this because of how great the side quests were in Witcher, but I want side quests, some of them, to just be bad for you. So you really have to pay attention and not just completionist your way through these games.
I love that idea, actually.
I want like a person to be there with a quest marker and like, by doing the side quest, only bad things will happen for your world, for your character.
Yeah.
Like, let's make that happen as to where I really have to pay attention and be like, wait a minute, like, I'm not going to do that. You know?
I'd love that. Because I think a lot of what happens, Huber, is there is that completionist. There's that trophy. Mm-hmm. Oh, obviously I should clear the map.
That
I should
XP,
get
you're crafting rewards. It's like...
That's a really great point. I love that. Are we ready to slot that in at number 1? Is this the game that Easy Eyes desires most?
I feel extremely comfortable slotting that
Especially because it's so far away.
Sure.
You know? It's like, it's such a good...
You asked that question, I'm like, well, we should see the rest of them. And then I'm like, also... What's beating it?
Yeah. Well,
when you bring up the word desire,
Yes.
I have a strong desire to play this game, to see what games now see this and realize, okay, that's where the bar is. That's what I have to meet to get the release date for this game, to see everything that's going to be coming out in the year 2020 or 2021 when we finally get our hands on this sucker.
Sure.
Desire strong.
There are 2 games I want more, but we'll get there.
I'm not sure we will. Give me one. Give me one of those 2 games then.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, so that wasn't on my list to talk about this week's episode, so let's do it. Let's get in.
I think if anything is going to go up against Cyberpunk for number 1 desired game, I think The Last of Us Part 2
Okay.
is a good competitor.
So before
to be in the ring.
E3, what we saw of Last of Us Part 2, we saw the reveal trailer. We saw Ellie playing guitar. She wants to get revenge. She wants to kill every last one of them. Then we saw last year's E3 trailer, which was just some like stomach murder, just some creepy stuff happening, violence all over, with not a lot of story details. I think we got them later on. They were like, this is the name of that person, and this is the name of that person. There's
Still
some
holding
sort of
out
cult.
the name for the girl with the hammer.
Yes.
Still in her name.
Leading to your theory, Huber, we did learn now after E3 that it takes place over 2 timelines.
Yes, dude, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
2 timelines, but also it was said that Ellie is the only playable character. I'm really confused by this stuff, dude.
Yeah.
It might be the misdirection.
Because
I
they
think it's
really seem to be
misdirection.
pushing the agenda strong that like we got to introduce you to a lot of new people.
Yeah, it feels that way, yes.
even there were a couple people just strolling up in this gameplay demo, at her at the little dance that they were having, the little celebration. You got some faces popping up just very briefly.
And I think by saying just that she's the only playable character, it makes sure that we all know it's Ellie's game. Like,
Yeah,
you can
so I
play
think
as
you're
Joel for a little bit or like someone
Sure.
else for a bit, but like I think they're just saying that to really drive home like, yo, Ellie, like this is her game.
Cool. Why do you think this is in contention for a game that we desire?
I bring up CD Projekt Red, I bring up studios, right? Naughty Dog.
What do they make?
Uncharted and The Last of Us recently, very quality games. It feels like they're getting better each time they make a new game, but
They really do. I think they improve. You could say that there's a formula to it, and there absolutely is, but they get better and they try new things with each new game.
Uncharted 4 is underrated. I'm just going to say that.
Sure.
Straight
Wow.
up.
We
Yeah.
just talked about how our desire to see objectives in games that lead us with an unfavorable outcome. And that's actually the most remarkable thing about The Last of Us to me. And I don't want to get into too many specifics, but I walked away from The Last of Us feeling I had been punched in the gut. like that it had used its investment against me in a way that I just don't get to see in video games hardly ever, if at all.
The ending does not feel good.
No, it doesn't. But
Yeah.
it doesn't feel.
And you really want it to.
I mean,
Yeah.
I still think we're at a point with video games where they're like, oh, we're gonna make them feel bad. We're just gonna easily kill off this character. Like, I think we're at a point where there's just so much shock in the sudden death, and I think what Last of Us goes for, the way that it uses relationships, the ways that it uses psychology, and the ways that sometimes the lie can be better than the truth, is just so much more meaningful than some sort of random shocking death to me. And that's what I'm excited about in The Last of Us Part 2, is it's like, how am I going to feel at the end of this? I don't know. It could be anything.
It's like, Ben's here talking about the story, which is going to be, like amazing if all works out. Last of Us has such a great story, but like just that E3 trailer of the gameplay,
It impressed me.
the AI, it's like
I didn't think I could do it, dude.
it's like I think of this generation and it started slow where it's like, last generation we had HD, and then this generation it's been a little slower for a lot of people in terms of like, well, it's kind of similar to last gen. Like now games are starting to look better, but like the nitty gritty, like under the hood stuff, like AI is what really gets me going, where like these enemies coming in this room, I mean, everything looks scripted, and it's like, this is all just happening in real time? Like, how?
And you talk about the nitty gritty and you talk about the detail. Like, go back and watch that trailer and just look at how people are dying, and then how that reinforces the story, right?
Yeah.
How that reinforces the smile that she gives at the end. If it hadn't looked so impressive, it hadn't been so detailed, and if those people weren't going through such agony, I don't think that smile at the end would have been as impactful as it was. It's
completely
so
right.
that's what's exciting is that we're getting the two are merging in such a way that it's like everything that I'm doing, it's gonna pay off when I see these characters interact.
Because it's just so...
To draw a direct comparison, there's a lot of bloodshed and a lot of really brutal tactics shown off in Shadow of the Tomb Raider that we got to see at E3. But I compare, every axe chop and arrow shot that she does in Shadow of the Tomb Raider to just literally Ellie under the car and this lady who you're just like, oh God, here it comes, creeping up and looking underneath the car and shocked, and then just it's too late and getting shot like in the cheek.
Yeah.
Just like...
And you can kind of see the life fade from her just from a headshot. It's so strange in that way.
It-
Like,
like
her face,
so
it didn't
brutal
explode.
and just so...
Yeah.
just
Like,
so-
I
yeah.
joke about feeling the kill. Like, I joke about it, but good lord.
There's victory there. There's comfort in the fact that like that person's not going to kill me, or I've won out against that person. But there's also just this deep regret.
Yeah.
And like
It wasn't-
it's just not clean.
That's
yeah,
kind
it's-
of like about it.
Even
Wasn't
that, like, Jones,
Heavy.
that's such a good point. Just like hyping up the danger.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be so dangerous now because everything's just so real.
When that weapon wheel first comes up, she has no ammo. You just see all of these little things she can access. It's just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 everywhere. And great demo.
Are we all willing to put that in at number 2? That's the second most game we desire.
For me
it's-
personally, I would, but I can
There's stuff
understand
that's
if you guys
close.
don't
There's
want
one
to.
particular that's closer to that, but I don't know if it's necessarily on your
There's-
like
I'll put it
announced
number
list.
2 right
but-
now. We'll
Yeah,
see.
there's other things
Okay.
that I would fight for. I
We'll
think.
see if we got to bump it or not. I want to use the whole index.
Definitely.
I want to
Okay.
use the whole index. So the next game we're going to talk about is Team Sonic Racing.
Okay.
So I was really excited about this game leading into E3. Sumo Digital working on another Sonic Racing game.
Yeah.
I was pumped. And when I learned that Star Fox Grand Prix isn't at E3, I gave it another look.
Yeah.
I was like, oh baby,
Double
now,
down on it.
yes, there's still a cool racing game coming. This is not the game I thought it was. We did suspect that it would be only Sonic characters. We talked about it on this podcast. I think it's the right marketing way to go. This is a team-based racing game. The developers said they want to make something team-based like Overwatch. Let me get the other game that they brought up. Splatoon, where it's like, oh, we're working together as a team. It's not about somebody's individual winning the race. It's like our team winning the race.
Which I love. I
love
love
that?
that. I
Yeah.
do.
No,
Tell me why you love that.
Setting
played
itself
it.
apart.
Yeah, I played it, and I think because it is so different is what makes it so interesting. Like, I walked in, I was the opposite of you, where I walked in and I was like, oh, this is cool. They're making another one of these, and just how clever the mechanics were and how it made you feel differently about kind of a kart racing game, where it's like, okay, when I get an item, in these types of games, it's like, okay, how quickly can I just screw somebody over with it? How can I, obviously that's not completely true. Sometimes you want to save items so you can block other things.
Yeah.
But the general mentality, I think, for most people with car racing games is kind of impulse.
Yes.
Whereas here, you're not thinking about an item just to hit somebody, but you're thinking, how can I pull this guy on my team who might be like Huber, for example? How can I help him out?
Why do you want to help him?
I'm fading back here,
You
man.
want to help him because it's not just about getting first in the race. It's about your whole team's position in regards to everybody else.
But he's just another dumb Sonic
I'm
character.
holding you back, Kyle.
No, but I mean, sure, he's just another. If you want to look at it just aesthetically,
Yeah.
but it goes beyond that. So there's a huge difference between if he picks Tails versus he picks like Dr. Robotnik.
Nah,
Because
that's a safe bet.
if he picks Tails, he's not slowed down by mud on the road, but he's not as fast as a speed character. And so it's like you have all these different mechanics of different types of characters mattering more than just winning the race. It's like, okay, which characters are going to be good at specific parts? How do we balance that out? I think that whole layer of strategy is something like, it's just a mindset that I hadn't been in before with a kart racing game, and I think that's exciting.
Me too. I think honestly, to look at Overwatch and actually say why is this successful and how can we apply this to a racing game is actually kind of interesting. I actually totally do agree with that.
And it's fun to be in third place and see your two friends in second and first and be like, yes,
Clean it up.
I'm not just going to win this race. We're dominating this. Like, that feels really good.
I am extremely bummed it's just Sonic characters.
And
like,
15. There are 15 Sonic characters in this game. Are there?
I've played a lot of Sonic games, but I also have not played a lot of Sonic games because there are so many.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way I could name 15 Sonic characters.
We'll see how deep you can get right now. Let's see how deep you
Sonic,
can get.
Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik,
We'll call him Eggman, but sure.
Chaos, Shadow, Amy,
Yes.
Cat. What's the Big Cat?
Big the Cat, yes.
the Cat?
Yep.
Oh, I forget the robot's name. All right, I got 8 solid.
What's the bat's name?
I forget.
Okay, you can do more.
You know the rabbit's name.
I forget all those Sonic Adventure characters. It's been
Okay.
so long.
Let's see, who else is there? Do you know, like...
I'm just realizing they're
It's
going
hard,
deep.
dude.
If they're going
15,
15, they're going deep. If they're going 15,
So deep.
Yes. What's the
Crazy.
alligator? I learned his name like
Is
4
it-
times on this podcast.
Is it Vector?
Yes, Vector.
Okay.
Vector is in the game.
Oh my god.
And
Lock
you
in
know
Vector.
what? Vector's awesome.
He is cool. He's
Vector
cool.
is awesome.
Vector's cool.
So yeah, I mean, it is funny.
cool.
I wonder if there's got to be guest characters as DLC or something,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
no disrespect at all to the Sonic lineup.
Yeah.
It's just coming after all the All-Star Racing games with other, I mean, Shenmue, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
and by the way, this is the same team. When I said Sumo Digital,
Exactly.
that's the same team who made those games. Yeah.
so it seems like a big omission, especially at like a Avengers Infinity War time, you know? Mashups are hype right now. Let's get more characters in there.
I think that's not their target, dude. I think that's not their target.
I think this game would be like big though if there were other characters.
But here's the...
If you could play as Rio or Lon D in this before Shenmue 3, before the Shenmue remaster comes out, all those Shenmue fans would be chomping at the bit to race in this game.
It's not on brand.
because it's
not
they're
on
scratching
brand,
the itch.
Yeah.
Whose team would they even be on?
Yeah, right.
Where do we slot this one in? We have 10 slots.
I think this is a game that, by word of mouth, will pick up steam just because of how different it is.
Sure.
And I think that may have the potential to ride out the disappointment of the lack of Sega characters.
Number 9?
Put Streets of
8,
Rage
9?
characters in there.
There's
Like,
got to be something lower than.
You think I
Dude,
got a
if I
listing?
can-
I think you
hiding
do.
in
I
there?
think you do.
I'm thinking like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. 8 would be my
I'm
vote
happy with
between the
8.
two.
Okay.
I'd go
fine.
8.
Okay.
It's fine.
So just to be clear, this is the game Easy Eyes desires the 8th most.
Yeah.
8th most.
Yes. Okay.
We like Sonic
What's
here.
our cancel called again? Just so I have that.
Everybody
prep.
shut up.
Everybody.
Can
shut
we
up.
shuffle things around?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need to like put them in temp slots so we
Good,
can
good.
make progress.
It's
you
just
know?
crazy because Sega's well is so deep.
That's a deep
Dip
well, dude.
into that.
Sure.
Well, let's get some characters and let's get
I'm bummed about the
Streets of
Genesis
Rage.
collection, dude. That's a
Me
whole other
too.
discussion.
Yeah.
I'm bummed about what that was.
I know.
It was pitched as like, oh, we see the NES Classic, we see the Super Nintendo Classic, we can do that too, and this is our way of handling. Oh my goodness. Okay. Fallout 76 is a game that was announced before E3.
Right.
We were waiting for a lot of details about it at E3, but we had kind of learned from Kotaku that it was going to be an online survival game. And that turned out to be true. It is an online survival game. We learned more details about it. There is a story still. There are missions still. However, there are 0 NPCs. The only other characters in this game are other people.
Well, are there NPC? There's NPC like enemies.
None of them will talk to you.
Yeah. Okay. So no NPCs will speak to you.
Right. Which is, essential in Fallout games for story.
Other than
right?
like, hey, there's a guy over there.
Yeah.
That like they'll yell at you maybe. Or
No.
like, no? Oh, because they're all like monsters or
weirdos.
mutants and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
That's Fallout 76. What do we think about that game today? Oh, I have a release date for that too. I mean, November 14th, 2018.
Ben
It's
is a
coming this year.
big Fallout fan, and he's like rearranging in his chair right now. He's like thinking deeply.
I mean,
he took
Ben
a
was
deep
on the podcast
breath.
before E3 and
Yeah.
saying like, this is why I'm nervous about it. This is why Fallout fans would be nervous about this game.
I watched the No Clip documentary about the making of Fallout 76.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of things that they said that had me really excited. And what I liked is them taking creatures from West Virginia folklore and incorporating them into the world.
The giant sloth is cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big frog, I think, dude. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of
big
when
frog.
I think about, okay, how is a story, how am I going to be invested if I don't have characters that I can go and talk to and see, how they're being affected by this? And I'm like, well, what if you did it with like sort of mythological creatures? Like, imagine how fun it would be to kind of learn the legend of something and then go out and hunt it with your friends. And you think, oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really like that they were talking about, and they showed pretty convincingly in the No Clip documentary, is, hey, Fallout, you've done it, and it's like the world has already kind of been, after the war, after the bombs drop, it's kind of already been claimed. Factions are already put in place. This is a world without any of that, and this is like a section that hasn't been bombed as heavily. I mean, you're when you go into a forest, it's an actual forest. It's not just a completely irradiated wasteland. Cool. And so this idea of kind of being in this place that is its own bubble and figuring out what to do with that and being the one to decide which direction it's going to go in sounds really, really cool. What Todd Howard said really made me nervous, though, because
Which
he was
part?
the way that he talked about incorporating online, where he was like, this is something we're scared of doing, and I don't necessarily know how it's going to work out, but let's just have players collide.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can see how from a developer overseer standpoint that could be really exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm worried it's just going to be a bad time for me.
For
I'm
people
worried
who are paying $60 for a video game.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm worried. Here's what I'm worried about is that, like, let's say you have 10 sessions with Fallout 76. One of those is golden and 9 of those is really frustrating and bad.
Yeah.
And that is not my experience with Fallout. My experience with Fallout is, I'm exaggerating here, but every time I turn it on, I can go to a different corner of the world and get invested in a super detailed story that matters to me.
That's what sucks is the locations they showed. The areas look so fun and interesting.
Yeah.
The huge mansion that the robots are taking care of. It was funny. I went on a road trip, not a road trip, a trip, I guess, vacation with some high school friends to West Virginia once. And I really wanted to go to the nuclear fallout shelter, the presidential one. Like, you can just go there. Everybody else was like, no, let's go whitewater rafting, like, instead. But, like, it's cool to me that they're, like, tapping into that part of the history, too,
Right.
Ben. Like, they're like West Virginia is a little weird. Like, there are some really cool stuff going on there. But to me, that's so much less interesting without story, without the NPCs, without the idea that I've cleared this area and it's done, instead of me loading into a server where nobody's touched it yet today. You know what I mean? Like, to me, there is some difference there, but I could see how this is still appealing to people who love this kind of game.
Yeah, like if I can imagine, like any MMO or MMO light game, I can see the idea, in my brain so clearly of like, wow, like, every server's going to be different. Like, we are really making our own story. Like, I'm going to have tales to tell of our exploit, getting the nukes and like setting up bases. And it's like, but I think like Ben was saying, it's scary because it's like, yo, if I play this 10 times and 9 of those is just struggling to get through areas or like trying, there's a lot of unseen logistical aspects of this game that frighten me, whether that's technical performance, because like some of their games have tech issues, or just the slow grind of like who's gonna be in the server with you. You know, if you get in a server with hostile people, like that doesn't seem
Was it playable
extremely
at E3?
fun.
Did
No.
you play this game?
No.
No,
Is it going to launch on time?
it is,
Okay.
but
They're gonna do a beta. They said too. Beta.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right. And what the beta had a cute acronym for
It
like
was
we're
like
going to break
break
it.
everything.
Break everything. Test. Whatever.
I don't remember that. Break everything. I think was the first two.
Yeah.
I can just imagine if you commit hard to this game, though, you'll get it back. Like what you give is what you get.
Yep.
That's my mentality.
And they
going
want a
in.
live game. They want to keep adding
Yeah.
stuff to it, and I can see that happening.
And I think that's also what makes me a little nervous or curious as someone who's not a Fallout fan and has not, just because I have not spent time with those games. And you'd think Fallout 3 and 4 are right up my alley with being open world and going on all the crazy adventures, all the exploration that's in there, is because it kind of seems like a bunch of games at once. Like this seems like an early access kind of a thing where they're like, this is just a test. We've never done something like this before, so we really want to bring people in to help mold this. But no, we're also going to have a hard launch, and this is when the game comes out. He kind of joked that they have tech issues with their games, but that is like the number one concern
Yeah.
I see brought up
made me so
repeatedly.
mad, Jones.
So it was kind of weird that he was jokey about it.
His joke was, I read that on the internet, and everything on the internet is true. You would use that joke for a thing that was false, but it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's
It's,
like,
true,
dude,
man. You
it's
got
like-
problems with your games.
It's like, dude, we bought your game and it was like busted.
Yeah.
And he's
So
just
to
like,
almost guarantee that they're going to have tech issues with this game that is so experimental with the franchise that people love so dearly,
Yeah.
with just this format that we still have so many questions around. I think it's weird. I think for me, it's kind of in this interesting place of being I think you should be concerned about Fallout 76, but I think Fallout 76 is also going to do many things that no one else is doing, and I
Yeah.
think you're going to be very interesting.
I just got myself hyped by just how weird Fallout 76 is.
It's a weird game.
I'm
It's
like,
absolutely weird, dude.
I'm like more on board just from talking about it for 10 minutes.
And I think
It's
we
just
haven't
so
talked about the nukes. I think that's crazy.
What are the
I-
nukes?
The nukes you can attack at a high level of play, presumably end game. You and a bunch of people can collect codes, nuclear codes, then infiltrate a nuclear silo, gain access to a nuclear weapon, pick a target on the world map, and drop a nuke.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
go
go in
to
that
that
zone,
spot
yeah.
and then acquire. So there's so many steps to that. And I think one of the things that's interesting to me, and when you talk about MMOs and you talk about living games, I think a lot of other games could learn from. I think Destiny could take a page from that, because if I'm going into a world in Destiny, my interactions, if I'm not specifically on a raid or I'm not signing up for something with other players, and I'm just out in the open world, it's really a player versus player direct contact that is going to surprise me. I'm going to stumble across another player, we're going to do a thing, and then go our separate ways. Where when you bring in this nuke aspect, this could affect so many different players in so many different ways. I could be at that location and just look up, oh shit, and and like
I'm sorry, I
that
forget-
thing drops on my head.
There's
Or
not that many players on the map, right? What was it?
Potentially, yeah.
It does, like I
Yeah.
said.
But I could also just be like nearby and then see that bomb drop and like, well, I'm only level 40 and that's typically a level 50 thing, but like, I don't know where those players were that dropped that. Maybe they're not going to get to that in time. Maybe I can just sneak in and grab a couple things and run out.
Yeah.
Or even just aesthetically being miles away from that, just hearing the boom and just looking off in the distance. Like, that's so cool. Knowing that that's not just weird background sound effects, but like that's something someone did actively. I'm excited about that ever since we got like MAG. You know, there's this promise of having multiple layers of gameplay, so that like even if you have higher level players interacting with lower level players, they're affecting the game world in a real, tangible, dangerous way. I think that's really exciting, and I'm curious to see that play out. And even people complaining about it not working the way they want.
I'm ready to hear all the stories
Yeah.
about it. I'm
I'll
so
tell
ready.
you, I guess I'll tell you what bothers me a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, Fallout is still like, hey, doesn't nuclear war suck? You know, is the idea of the game. And so, like, to make it like the point of the nuclear missile is you don't even have to target anybody. You can put it off in the side because it's still good to launch it because you get high level stuff.
Exactly. That's what bothers me, the incentivized to use it part. It's like, yo, I want that high level gear, but also I don't want to launch any nukes on anyone. I want to disarm every
Right.
nuke.
But so you can launch it off and then put here. I think it would be really cool if disarming it gave you high level
Yes.
gear. But
Yeah.
if one of the 4 people in your crew wants to launch it, they totally can. So you all have to agree.
Everyone.
You're like, okay, we're going in. Nobody launch it. And if one person could launch it, I would just love that. I would love that so much because you'd never be able to trust 3 other people. I think
be tough.
nobody launch it. Nobody launch it.
Nobody do it.
Come on, who did that? You know, I really, really would like that. Yeah, to me, it's weird that it's always good to launch the nuke. It's a weird message to send about that game. But you don't have to kill anybody with it.
Where my heart sank, I think, while watching the gameplay trailer, is when I think about the Bethesda-developed Fallout games and the things that I enjoy. Shooting stuff is not one of those things.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy the craziness of the weapons, and I enjoy some of the result of the kills, but the process of like selecting the thing in VATS or shooting in real time, especially, not an incredible experience. And when I think about an MMO. And the shots in the trailer where you just see these like 3 or 4 people huddled together and just like that doesn't seem like a great time. Like, and you think about an online game and how you have to fill it, and is it just like, am I going to have to engage in substandard combat a lot to maybe get to the good bits? Like, am I just gonna have to go around and point a gun at a thing and not feel really real challenge, and the AI is not going to be that incredible, and I'm just going to like, oh man, in 30 hours I'm going to maybe get one thing for a nuke.
When you're logged off, does your character stay there?
No.
Because I'm concerned too about the towns, you know? Like you said,
Right.
the shooting is not the strength, it's the social interactions with characters and going on these quests and exploring.
There's no towns, man.
No, they're player built.
Your camps.
Camps.
Got you.
Your
So
little,
it's
your
like,
little hubs.
am I
yeah.
just gonna walk into ghost towns?
Right.
Like, am I this lone wanderer?
Yeah, I think you pack it up. I think you pack it up in your little briefcase.
Yeah, I think it like travels
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
So, but can I go? So, say like players gather together though and build a settlement, like a
Who gets to
big-
keep it? You mean?
Yeah, who does that belong to? Like, can those types of stories happen? You know,
Yeah.
our server got together and built a whole town or something.
I need to know where we're putting this. Where we would rank this.
I mean, they've gone out of their way to say like, hey, you're not building a town. Like, it's
Okay,
not
okay.
like that.
Got
It's this little outpost.
Got it,
essentially.
5 or 6.
Whoa,
Is that high or low? Why do you say
way
whoa?
too high.
Oh, way too
I'm
high.
way more excited for others to play this game than I am, you know?
I get what you
You
mean.
slave away and go through the,
We'll watch
the
your streams.
jankiness
Yeah.
and the, like, you put up with all the heartache about
The
it.
second that I'm in, though, and I mean, to their credit, they've done this before, where they've told incredible stories about places that have basically been abandoned, where you can get a sense of a place and its history just through terminals or just through like how they place things in the environment. And the second I hear like, hey, walk over here, man,
There's a
you
really
gotta
cool
see
thing.
this
There's a
place.
really cool thing. Yeah.
That's when I'm in.
I hear you.
And maybe they can do that.
That's a really good point. I remember the one vault where the overseer got incinerated every time, and it would keep everyone else alive. And the vault just kept doing it until everyone banded together to say, like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to sacrifice people. And then the vault was like, congratulations, you made the right choice. Everyone can leave. And it's like stuff like that. There were no people in that entire thing except for like rats. And it's great. I'm really excited for this game. I don't know.
I'm actually right there with you, Ian. I am really excited, and I'm scared. And I don't think being scared is necessarily a bad thing, but there are just a lot of questions. And sometimes those are the best games. I think sometimes the games where you just don't know end up being your favorite.
So where are we putting it, Ben?
Yeah, we gotta slot it in.
I'm gonna say I don't know what else is on this list, which is really bothering me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is 4 or 5 for me. I think 5 is a good place.
Let's do 5
Five.
because
We'll
Jones
lock
said
in
5 or
five for now.
6.
I'll go with that. I like it.
And then Huber, if you're really unhappy with it at the end of the
No.
day, you have a power.
The game is so it's exciting. Like Fallout 76 is so exciting.
And every time I would bring up Fallout to Michael Huber, he would
Yeah.
always say like, "Hey man, I really hate just how gray everything is or how brown everything is. Like post-apocalypse nuclear wasteland is not my thing." And that's kind of why I'm excited for you to see it. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
like, look at this color.
Way more
Look at the
Yeah.
gorgeous landscape of West Virginia.
I'm the weirdo that liked Fallout 4 above the 3 because there's just more color in it. I don't know.
I want to talk about another game that to me might. I'm not even sure if it's online only. It might be. I'm gonna find out right now in this discussion. Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Is that online only?
I wonder if you can solo queue.
I want
don't
to.
think so. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think you
I
can
think it's
solo
online.
Skull and Bones if you want.
Really? Because I'm confused about this. So it's not an online only game. It's not a multiplayer only game. There's like a campaign. There's a actual story to this.
I don't know about
There is a
story.
story.
There's a story. There are locations to plunder. There are places to go. When I jumped out in that demo, I didn't see any players right away, and they were like, you can go over here, you can go over there. There was just all sorts of iconography that I'm like, ooh, I can take down that ship and steal stuff from them. I can just kind of in like a God of War sense, so there were just items bobbing out in the water that you could just go and get. And there were, posts that you could attack. There were locations on the beach that you could, pull up to, and there'd be a cutscene where all of your crew would go off and dig up that treasure.
But my character is not spending a lot of time off the boat ever, right? There's just
Not
that
in the
one
demo
hub
that
is
I
the
played,
impression
no.
I get.
The
Yeah.
hub, which is awesome.
The
Just
hub's
when-
awesome?
I think it is. I
What's
didn't get to
awesome
see
about
it.
Awesome looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
looks
didn't get
cool.
to see it
It looks-
or see how it functions.
Just
Like
the
we saw it
idea.
for 3 seconds.
So when
in
I
the
see the
press
dude
conference,
walking
right?
around the hub, it's like, don't mess with my emotions here. That'd be
Yeah.
really fun to walk
exactly,
around.
Jones. I was like, are there many of these? And I get the impression there's probably just the one.
Yeah.
Just probably the hub. Which is fine. Like this game is not Black Flag. This is a multiplayer shooter, basically. Like honestly, that's
A
what's going.
multiplayer shooter is what you want to call this game.
Yeah,
Okay.
like to generalize it, kind of. Yeah, this
Why?
is a game where you queue up, against other players and fight basically to the death. You can ally up. There's uneasy alliances, but the main mission is to beat the other people to the loot and get it back to your base. So from what I played at E3, the pace was a lot quicker than I was expecting. Jones was talking about it earlier, kind of the ship does move a little slower, but I still thought the encounters, what's the word I'm looking for? There was like a pressure in the air of just like, yo, we got to get here. We got like people all, because there's like 10 people at a time in a game. There's people all around the map, just knowing
How
they're
big is the map?
big enough to not see someone for a couple minutes at a time.
So a huge ocean.
Yeah, it was. I mean, in just the little slice we got during the show, they're like, there is a high possibility in the 5 minutes. Did we get with the game 5-10 minutes?
15, I think. It was.
They're
It was
like,
a
you might
full
not bump
countdown.
into anybody. You might just fight AI this entire time. We can't guarantee because we don't know where everyone's going to travel.
And there were
so-
10 of you on the map?
I ran into like 3 or 4 people in
That
that
is
time.
nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing that's fun, that if you have played multiplayer games in the past, I'm sure this has all happened to us, where you see two people, Battle Royale classic, where you see two people fighting, that one person barely survives with a sliver of health, and then turns the corner, and there you are, and you're like, sorry. You're like, I have full health, there's nothing you can do.
My cannons are pointed at you.
And it's really interesting seeing those skirmishes at a distance, like seeing one player character taking on two big ships and just barely winning that match, and then you just stroll up and they can see you at a distance like, no, and then they like do a 180 and try to get away from you, and you're like, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And it seems pretty brutal. I asked them, I said, what if I sink here? They're like, you lose all of your loot.
Yeah.
No.
All of it.
Everything you have on you
Everything
right
you
now.
have
So
on.
if you want,
Yeah.
in a Sea of Thieves sense, if you want to
Yeah.
go back and cash everything in, you can. So yeah, it is that risk reward. How far am I going? And just even if you see someone that's wounded, or if you get in a battle with somebody and then an AI person comes up on your right, and so you take care of them, and now I'm going back to player 2 and like they're gone, and I'm just like, do I want to chase them? Do I want to put all my eggs in that basket, or just cut my losses and go home or move on to someplace else?
So here's what's interesting about the campaign. Skull and Bones will offer a narrative campaign which will be integrated into the game and will not be something aside of the multiplayer experience.
Yeah, I get that. I think the narrative will be what's the word I'm looking for? Faction based. So I would imagine if you go through the map, they slowly introduce you to new, different types of factions. So obviously we didn't recognize this because we're just running around killing everybody we see, or you tried to ally with them, which I give you respect for,
Yeah.
Huber, because I tried to kill everybody that I saw. But I imagine there was definitely over time a recognition of colors. So you would see a ship at a distance and know, I know who that is. I know how difficult they are. You could see the levels of certain ships, but I imagine just by color, you'd be able to recognize, okay, they're a part of that faction. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of faction reputation meter where the more you piss off a certain faction, the more they're likely to see you and attack on sight.
From what I just read, it sounds like there's legendary pirates that we have rivalries with and things like that.
You brought up false colors in the demo that they showed.
That's
so
my favorite thing.
I'm assuming you had to acquire that at some point. So
I
early
did,
missions
yeah.
are probably like, we're going to go in,
Disguise.
try to take these ships down to steal their flags to use them at a later date.
Sounds to me, though, like Call of Duty saying, oh, we have a story. We have a story. It's just in multiplayer this year. It sounds like that exact same thing to me.
That's never.
When I started up the demo, though, there was like this big thing with all these different characters and talking about killing this one guy.
The
like,
CG trailer
there was-
emphasized story pretty
yeah,
heavily.
there was a narrative thread there that
Yeah.
seemed more substantial than just like, hey, go kill this guy.
But when you say it's integrated, it's not a mode separate from multiplayer. To me, that kind of says this is an online-only game. Like you're playing this online only.
Yeah.
Whether that's confirmed or not yet, we still don't know.
I was just impressed with how good it.
Where do we
felt.
slot this in? Is this above or below Fallout 76?
That is a very good question.
I personally would rather play Skull and Bones, but I'm way more curious about Fallout.
This is about desire, so it's higher.
I really want to play Skull and Bones. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. What I played blew me away at E3. I had a big turnaround on this
Yeah.
game.
Let's see if you can convince Ben and Brandon.
We're definitely gonna get Luke Arnold in there for weekly sales.
Don't say definitely for weekly
Like-
sales. Don't do that to him.
We'll get him at least one time.
I'm worried that a lot of what you're saying is super, super, super fun, and just how unique it feels, and the excitement of getting into these huge battles on the open sea, and that excitement turns to frustration about 2 weeks later, where what was initially fun and novel about this becomes aggravating.
The meta. Once the meta's
it
figured
become-
out.
right, and it just becomes slow and draining,
And a
you
grind.
lose interest. Like, am I going to want to see that story through to the end? How are they going to dole it out? How quickly are things going to change up? I don't know.
I don't know.
Jones, where's your desire, dude?
I think number 6 behind Fallout. I think the tough thing is Ubisoft has actually done a very good job. I was very impressed from Ubisoft in how they represented their online focused games, mainly Rainbow Six and For Honor, which we got little updates on but have been out for a while, and the Division, which you could just say Division 2 is kind of like a continuation of stuff they've been doing with Division, but they were very clear. Something that I felt was lacking with 76 was here's our first year. You know, here we're actually looking to improve this. So
Yeah.
if people come into 76 and are really unhappy, we're ready to change it. We're ready to add more stuff. We're
I'd
ready
be
to,
happy
to
if they
switch
could
up
give
the
me
rules.
a month.
Yeah.
But you look at something like For Honor and Rainbow Six, especially Rainbow Six, man. There are people that play that game. I see gameplay, and like it's hard
awesome.
it's hard for me to even visually see what's going on because they are moving so fast. And Skull and Bones is not fast. And so like I wonder them almost doing like tournaments for Skull and Bones, and the shoutcasters being like, okay, he's coming up on this player. Let's see what he does. He's coming up. This match is
You
going to
need
be
a
great.
golf tone. You
He's
need a
turning,
golf tone for
he's
it.
turning.
Dude,
This encounter is going to be electric
strategic.
when it happens. Here he goes.
Yeah.
He's
It's
pulling out his
fun.
cannons. Here we go.
It was still pretty fast, dude. When I got into some scrapes with other players, like, it was... Dude, I even think it's, like, better designed for shoutcasting because, like, when I was scuffling with player 9 at E3, whoever that player was...
You know who you are.
We were dancing around, dude. Then our friend came in, but then he got hit, and then another guy went because, like, an NPC...
Did you do any ramming? The ramming's cool.
The ramming is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like it was just this cat and mouse, like leading him into the waves, trying to use the island as cover. Like I think a 5-minute shit battle is exciting. Not everything needs to be like, yeah, he's dead. Oh, he's dead.
No,
Turn corner dead. Like we don't like too much. Too much.
I think it is really exciting now, but that's my question is, does that remain exciting for a significant period of time?
I think what Jones was saying though about how they've supported For Honor and Rainbow Six.
I want to really quickly.
but-
I want to talk about the For Honor update
Just
because
like-
I think it's really crazy. They're making all the classes into characters. So like each of the class is now a person
Smart.
who has a personality. So it's like Overwatch style.
Smart.
I think that's the nuttiest thing this deep into a game's life to just be like, you know what? They should all be characters.
Yeah, I believe in.
I
I
love
believe in
that.
Ubisoft right
And
now.
that's kind of reinforces Huber's point about them still thinking about their multiplayer games,
No,
still adding them.
I
years
agree
later.
with you. I think they're gonna update it. It's not the support that I'm questioning. It is when I think about like For Honor or Rainbow Six, like For Honor, for example, it's like you get into a match, you see a target, you go, and you're suddenly engaged in the core of For Honor.
Yeah.
In Skull and Bones, you know, by my 50th match, and it's like, okay, well, I gotta sail all the way over there
True.
to maybe just fire one shot. Like I'm not saying
see,
this
right.
is exactly how it's going to
For
work,
sure.
but I'm just trying to think it out, and it's like by the time I've done this, 100 times, is simply sailing to where I get to the exciting part going to be interesting? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Also,
I feel
also
you.
directly comparing to Fallout
Definitely.
76, we were saying like that mansion looks really cool. I bet there's some vaults are gonna be really neat. I bet there's some nuclear silos that are cool. Whereas with Skull and Bones, it's like that's a fun island. This part of the ocean is neat.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think there's that sense of discovery, which is why I'd put it at 6.
Sure.
I'd put Fallout just a little bit ahead.
It's just how long those mechanics stay fun.
But the thing is, if they do, this is riding
Yeah.
the list for me.
And it looks good. I just played Black Flag again, not all the way through, but I just like popped it open on PS4, and like so great to see that style of game now in this gen. Like when you're like right on the front of that ram and you just hit a boat, pieces of wood go flying everywhere. You hear guys screaming. It's pretty great. Oh,
Do you all hear that? Oh. It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
the following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of June. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from England who focuses on audio for game cinematics and trailers. They are also heavily involved in sound design and sound implementation for games. They've worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Call of Duty, Injustice 2, Cuphead, and a load of indies. Check them out at sweetjustice.audio. Mango. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Unique to Me Design. Looking for a gift for that special someone they will treasure for a lifetime, or maybe a little something that says, I care. With rings and bracelets, necklaces, and more, Unique to Me Design has a wide range of custom-made jewelry for all tastes. Enter the coupon code ALLIES25 for 25% off of your order. That's etsy.com/shop/unique to me design. L. Thanis. Andrew Reif. iKeyless. iKeyless.com is proud to sponsor Easy Allies. If you need a replacement car key or remote, use offer code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 30% off of your order. And our mega sponsors. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. And now, that good business lawyer has a YouTube channel, one with one video which Ian Hink has called really well written, and an overall number of videos which Kyle Bossman has called more than 2. Check it out at youtube.com/HOEG Law. Blue. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Changing up the images for Unique to Me Design because the 2 images you have previously seen are sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Did you pick them or did
Selling
you?
out. I just picked them. I just thought those looked good. We showed a
Yeah.
couple different ones last month, and I was like, I like these. I want to move in close on
You're
these.
selling hardware, man.
Yeah, feels good.
That is really cool.
Dude, I'm ready to play some E3 games, guys.
I am too, man.
I'm ready. This is like torture.
That's what
kinda
this is
right
the whole
now.
desire
I'm
index,
like-
man.
Yeah, my desire is high right now.
If you're just now joining us, we are halfway through the Easy Allies Desire Index. We have 5 games slotted in. A lot of space left. Nobody's taken 9 or 10 yet. We'll see what we can do there.
Just wait.
I would like to talk about a game I don't expect us to talk about for a long time. And so it's going to be hanging out on the Desire Index for a while until our next update. It's called Babylon's Fall.
What is this game again?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So this was
Right.
announced during the Square Enix
Enix
press conference. It was
conference,
29
yeah.
minutes long. Very confusing reveal. A lot of
Yeah.
the lore was dropped on us. Game Informer actually wrote a really nice article, like reading all of the lore and trying to like extrapolate.
The discovery of
Strings in it.
magical sources was the vibe I got. Well, look at this blue stuff, and then you're seeing the blue come through and a lot of their
But then
magic
bad
spells
things happened,
and
and
stuff.
yeah,
Ooh,
factions
look at the red
rise.
stuff.
So yeah, and that ended with a little CG, like a really cool, like I don't know, is it wrong to say Escaflowne type art or like armor? You know, just like really cool, elaborate armor. A big guy hanging over like a smaller guy in cool, elaborate armor, and the littler guy like pulls off that guy's arm and just slashes him with a sword. Trailer ends. Babylon's Fall, Platinum Games. So, the last time we've seen these 2 companies collaborate was Nier Automata. last and only other time, really. So it's cool that the Square Enix Platinum partnership continues. Exciting.
Bless you, Ian.
We don't know anything beyond that. We do not know who's directing this game. We don't know when it's coming. That is all we know about it.
And for
How
that
do we even-
reason,
yeah.
it's my number 10.
Is it fine to put this number 10 without that
I
many
think that's
details?
cozy.
I
Absolutely.
don't know
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I don't know.
What really twisted the knife
Yeah.
is, and hindsight is a powerful thing. But you were talking about the last time they collaborated, we got Nier, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I think about kind of how they built up Nier and the trailers that they did and how stylish they were and how just I think even if you didn't care about Nier at all, there was something to latch onto, like beyond Platinum Games working on this, which is certainly not nothing, of course. What? Well, why? I can't force myself to care
Yeah.
with just that.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, great. I'm glad we got one of those out of the way.
Next trailer.
10
when they
for
show.
sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll see it again for another year. It feels like that kind of game announcement.
I pray that the next time they show it, we're just eating this. We're eating that
Yeah.
10 spot.
Oh, for sure.
I want to choke it down.
We'll- we'll
I'm
pass it up.
ashamed of my
Yeah.
words and deeds.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just right now. 10.
Let's talk about a big boy then. Halo Infinite. This is the next Halo game. This is not some weird offshoot, as it was explained after it, because I think if you watch the trailer, you might think it's a weird offshoot. This is the next Halo game. It is a Halo sequel. Very few details about it, though. It was revealed through a trailer that was, I would say, environmental. It's almost tech demo-y. But within that, we saw really nice-looking environments, really nice-looking clothes, textures, just environmental, like just animals that look like really nice. And we saw Master Chief's old helmet hanging off. He had his helmet off for some reason, but that was the reveal of the
We're
helmet.
seeing his face this game. It's happening.
This is the one we see his face.
This is the one.
But it's funny because we were talking about the arcade game, the Halo arcade game, and I was like, oh, this is Halo back to its roots. Remember how cool the helmet used to be? Just a regular old Spartan helmet. This is it. Just a crew rolling around in a warthog, hanging out on a Halo. Awesome. Is the last thing you see in this reveal trailer, actually, is they're on a Halo. But that's all we know. We know it's a new engine, the Slipstream engine, created specifically for this game.
That's
because
exciting.
this game has things that the old engine couldn't do, and they're like, we need a new engine for this. And that is what's happening right now, Halo Infinite.
Nothing like making a new engine for a game specifically.
Yeah.
That gets my gears going.
I don't see gears going on Jones's side. I don't know. I'm seeing weird faces about this, man.
Well, just because of the list, man. This list is getting interesting now.
Getting stacked.
Do we dare put Halo Infinite behind Sonic Team Racing? You know?
No, why would you? No, this is a high end.
You know what I
game.
mean? Yeah. I think exploration is the number one vibe I got from this game.
Huge
Is look at this
environments.
world, go
Yes.
get it.
Yeah.
You know, and seeing that warthog just tearing, kicking up dust, bouncing along that road, reminded me of first, taking it on that island in the first Halo and just being like, let's go. What's around that corner? And I think first when Halo really tried to build up and do new things, it was very gameplay focused. Then they, added the Forge, and so they're changing up a lot of the multiplayer elements, and you can create your own maps now. You can change up the rules. Of course, we've got remasters for a lot of fun Halo games, even as problematic as those were, going back and revisiting some of the older games in a new engine. Then they took some really interesting story strides in the last couple games that I was not a fan of. That did not bring me into the new world they were building with 4 and the weird, Locke versus Master Chief battle that was happening in 5.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually kind of proud of them for looking at 6 and being like, hey, I got an idea. How about we just make a fun Halo game? Like, how about we really
seems that way.
capture
I pray
and just,
for that.
And just that, to me, that Warthog bump was one of the best things of that original Halo. Just that vibe of like, whoa, physics in a multiplayer game. Like, whoa, I'm in the cockpit. Whoa, and I think that's still something that's magical. That's something that they can really try to recapture. It's when you talk about Fallout 76, the rules are like my big question. It's like, wait a minute, I have my own thing. How does that work? And like, I don't find myself at this moment having those concerns about like, wait a minute, how do quests work in this? I'm just kind of excited to see what they reveal. And I thought it didn't feel like the kind of announcement that wanted to be more than it was. I think they wanted to establish this is going to be a gameplay focused thing. This is going to be a celebration of all that makes Halo great. we'll tell you about this later, but we just want you to see it running. Really go back and watch the beginning of that trailer and just showcase all of these different, interesting looking environments. I think it really plays on Anthem of all games. I kind of got an Anthem vibe from that, of like, it might not play at all the way Anthem plays, but I definitely, when I was playing Anthem, I was like, I want to go everywhere and really see all of these cool, fun, natural environments. And I get that vibe from this, of just like, I'm going to come across, potentially animals running around this ring, and like, maybe I need to kill them, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just going to run over them with my
those rhinos?
warthog,
You don't have to kill those rhinos. The deer?
Or maybe there'll be little factions of Covenant
Go
or
easy,
other,
Jones.
Yeah.
Just imagine seeing just a flood just coming down a volcano or something, and you're like, whoa.
Worth mentioning though, you did not see a single enemy in this entire trailer. You didn't. Yeah, it's pretty unique in that.
But I can
sense, yeah.
still kind of imagine what they're
No
pitch,
more flood.
what
Please-
they're selling.
Please, no more flood.
Yeah, well, if it's going back to the old days,
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I am intrigued.
Ben, how do we even like sort this? How do we say how much we desire this game? How do we even do this?
I think it depends on how much you're willing to hope. Like there are two.
I'm willing to hope, yeah.
There's two paths that you could take.
Sure.
I don't think saying, "Hey, we're making a new Halo game," has as much power as it used to have, and that's something you have to take into consideration. However, if you're willing to read into the trailer and you're willing to say what Brandon is saying, and you're like, "Hey, we're going to pinpoint why you fell in love with Halo in the first place," and exactly like Brandon was saying, the reason that I fell in love with Halo is not. And this is different for different people, but for me, it wasn't because of the lore. It wasn't because of this grand battle that just kept getting more grand, and then there were more factions that you had to get involved, and these people came before. It was because, like, oh man, getting in a Warthog with my friend is like the most fun I've had ever. Like, it's just the way that it spins around, the crazy jumps that we do, like, you're just laughing. And because that was so much fun and the shooting was so much fun, then you cared about the lore, and you're like, game, you've given me so much that I'm willing to invest in your world. I'm willing to care about Master Chief. I'm willing to care about the Covenant. I'm willing to care about the Flood because you gave me so much fun in the first place. And that's the feeling that I want to have here.
Cool.
Is I want to, if you can make me feel as good as the first time I got into a Warthog, I think that's a great achievement.
Hubert, where do you want to slot this one in, dude?
Ben, man, that was great.
Yeah.
You know, Ben did say that Halo doesn't command, the name that it used to have, like that power. But still, I'm big on legacies. Like, anytime a Halo comes out, like, it's still hard to not be, like, so
It's like
excited.
we're in this spot where it just saying we're making a new Halo game doesn't command the fervor that it used to.
Yeah.
But like everybody's hoping for a comeback.
Yeah.
We're willing to purchase those tickets for the comeback tour.
And
we're ready.
I like that there's clearly like a different direction with this. You know what I mean? If it was CG Chief just going like, I made a mistake. And just like, I don't know, like nobody would have been happy, you know? But it was something entirely different. It was
Oh man,
just raw gameplay.
Become the Master Chief.
Yeah.
this is what I sound like without my helmet. I made a mistake.
Our number 4 slot is open. I'd be comfortable going.
When we talk about desire, I don't
Yeah.
know if I desire Infinite. I don't know if that's something where it's like, man, I wish that game came out this month. That's going to be hard to wait for. I do desire for that game to be awesome. Like, I do desire to, like, call up some old friends and be
it's
like,
easy to say
man,
you desire
remember
more than
when we
Fallout 76,
co-opted
right?
Combat Evolved like a decade ago?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go back and...
desire the tournament night, the group stream night.
Oh,
I actually desire it a lot
Yeah.
for Halo. It's that game that we're just gonna throw on and just play and play and play. And
Are we
I
cool with
need
number
that.
4? We cool with
You
slot
can
number
see
four?
it in your head.
Yes. Hope.
The hope.
Hope, man.
Yeah.
Way to go, Halo.
How about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Who damn?
Number 3.
What?
Yeah, we got a release date, January
Lock it in.
29th.
Do we have a 2?
We have a 2.
2 is
2
Last
is The Last
of
of Us
Us.
Part 2. Which one do we desire more?
I'm gonna say it's our number 3.
Okay.
I'm just speaking.
Are we
for
all cool with that?
myself.
It's just
I'm cool with that, sure.
the desire index is like burning. It's on
Oh, yeah.
fire.
It is.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
it
that's why we
is.
do
It's
this.
melting.
It is.
So we didn't learn a lot new from Kingdom Hearts 3. It just continued to look good in my eyes.
Yeah.
No, but it's not just that. Like, it's not. We've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for a millennium.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
we've
And-
been waiting forever. And I think anytime you've been waiting that long, your expectations just keep building, just keep building, just keep building.
Yeah.
And, like, what we played And then what we continue to see through trailers, it's like, oh, it's just everything we want. It's just,
And
it just is
And
that
more.
game.
When they show off Pirates of the Caribbean, if you wrote that down, if that leaked,
Right.
Pirates is going to be in there, I'd be like, shut up.
And then you see the ship.
Yes, you see the ship, you see Captain Jack Sparrow's face, and you're like,
Right.
whoa, okay.
Yes.
You're doing really. And I think like you see Pirate Sora, he looks sick.
Yeah.
And Goofy's like, you used to like this world. Like, yeah, whoa, wow, what a reveal of that. I really truly like that.
And it's so encouraging hearing like Damiani and Ben and Brad talk about playing it then versus E3 and how much it's improved over a couple months. Anytime I hear stuff like that, it's so encouraging because it's just like, wow, this game's gonna keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, the question for me, especially maybe from Brandon, where you're not as invested in Kingdom Hearts.
True.
Like, what stones do we have to throw at Kingdom Hearts 3 based on what we've seen in and around E3?
The production values of this game are undeniable.
But
Everything no, there's no but there. Everything that I've seen, but I'm probably not going to play this game at launch. It's just because it's just not my type of game.
But why?
yeah, but why?
But why?
Desire,
There's a
Jones.
lot of
We
games,
want you
man.
to desire this game. We want you to desire
We
it.
want you to just create. It's Disney.
Dog, what other game is coming out when this comes out at the end of January? There's another game coming out at the end of January
Yeah.
that I might put a little bit on top of this
Evil.
game.
All right, I can let it slide, then. I can let it slide.
I love you, but I know
Right,
that, like,
yeah, come
when
on.
we're all screaming about Kingdom Hearts 3, you're going to be playing Resident Evil 2 Remake for, like, the 14th time.
You know what? I didn't have it on my list because I tried to have a variety. But it's
Yeah.
time to talk about Resident Evil 2. We're gonna bump some
Yeah,
others off.
see what I'm
with this.
talking about? Yeah.
Where do we put Resident Evil 2 Remake on our
I
desire
want to shuffle
index?
things around, and I want to put Resident Evil 2 Remake at number 1.
Yes. Yes.
Out of
Yes.
every game that we've talked about right now,
We have burning
that is,
desire for
that
it,
is
do we
the
not?
number. I would.
How did that happen?
I'm foaming at the mouth for it.
If we made this list before E3, they would not have ranked nearly that high. What happened at E3 to put Resident Evil 2 Remake
Here's
high
what-
on
They
our
got
list?
their
Yeah.
hands on it, and the trailers, both.
What happened? What was it?
Well, the trailer got everyone excited because it just looked so good. First of all, it was just a great trailer. It was a great reveal. We have been waiting for it for so long, but we still didn't have confirmation, so it still did come out of nowhere. And then we got our hands on it. And that was it. That was sealing the deal, was just playing this game for 10 minutes and just feeling the atmosphere, feeling the detail.
Hubert, you told me there's no way. You do not want to play this version of this game that doesn't have fixed camera
I
angles.
never said that. I said
You said you would spit on it.
yeah, right.
You said if it doesn't have
Lies.
fixed camera angles, you
That
would
is
spit
lies.
on this game.
I wanted fixed cameras, but I always said I'm 100% open to third person.
Okay.
At whatever they're doing, I'm cool with it.
And you played it, and it works.
And I played it, and I am not thinking about fixed cameras at all because it works and feels so good.
Do you desire this game more than Cyberpunk 2077?
Personally,
Jones, do you desire this game more than Cyberpunk 2077?
I do, because I think Cyberpunk right now for me, I know it's really far off. I think
Yeah.
it represents an era of gaming and not necessarily the game itself. I am, Witcher 3 had such an amazing pedigree. I think it took time before I actually finally played Witcher 3. And I think it's just going to be of undeniable quality, but like I have such a history with RE, and while I think Cyberpunk met my expectations, especially because Bloodworth described the demo before I saw it, so when I was watching it was like, where every single thing I saw from RE2, I was like, get out of town. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they listened to the desires of their fans. They knew this is something that everybody was going to love. They did something that was potentially scary because they had such success with Resident Evil Remake 2 gens ago that they're like, is this too old? Is it weird to hype up Resident Evil 2 so many years later for people that potentially might not have even played or really have that much emotional attachment? And a lot of people are talking about RE4. They're like, oh, it's RE7 and RE4 put together. This is RE7 and RE4 and RE2 put together. To me, this is like the visuals of RE7, the kind of the mechanics of RE4, but like definitely not the level design at all of RE4.
Or the pace.
RE4 is much wider, much more of a shooting gallery where it's just like that, claustrophobic. To me, it was just going into every single room and immediately being like, oh crap, what's over there? Oh crap, what's over there? Just the reduction in visibility, the just how damn good every single zombie looked, like the emotional investment that I felt when Marvin tells you, even if it's wearing a uniform, put it down. And like every time a cop comes at me when I go and play RE2, as much as I love it, it's like, oh yeah, that cop model. Whereas like every single time a police officer came at me, I'm like, I feel like this is somebody that I was going to work with, but I'm not going to anymore because of this virus, and I got to take them down.
I quickly want to praise Capcom for just the way they have shown this game, because this is a game where I and Resident Evil 2 fans out there have beaten Resident Evil 2 hundreds of times. It is that game. It is a game
legendary.
It is a legendary game that you can go through in a couple hours, and we do it. Like, we just play that game over and over and over.
We do it.
They gave us just the most beautiful tease. They have me in the palm of their hand, a game that I've gone through hundreds of times, and there's still so much mystery surrounding this.
Yes.
How is there so much
Sure.
mystery surrounding this game that we've played 100 times? It's just so beautiful. The little bit of information they've doled out, the trailer and the demo we played, focusing on just really the main lobby of the RPD building. Everything about the way they've shown this game is awesome.
It pisses me off to no end, and you see this all the time because, like, with movies they're remaking everything, with games they're remaking everything. Everything that you care about, they're remaking it. Okay, and I feel like so many times they go the cheap route. So many times they're like, "Hey, you remember that thing that you used to love? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is." And it's like what they're trying to do is they're not trying to recreate that feeling. They're trying to recreate the memory of how you felt about that thing. It's like a very cheap. It's like a sugar rush, right? But that thing that you first fell in love with, like, it shook you to your core. And what I see in the Resident Evil 2 remake is we're going like, oh fuck, that one zombie is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is honoring the way that game made you feel. Is they're not just relying on the fact that, like, hey, do you see? We placed the zombies in the exact same way that we did in the game from 1998. It's, hey, these zombies are in the hallway, and they're going to scare you like they never have before. And that is incredible, and that is exactly what Resident Evil Remake did. Exactly. Resident Evil Remake is one of the greatest games ever made.
Ever.
Yeah.
If not, like, the greatest remake
It's one of the
all
greats.
time.
But if
one
you
of the greats.
haven't played
Yeah.
It is one of the
RE2,
greats.
One of the greats.
this is going to be a great game. If you have like the joy for so many different levels, just being forced in the game playthrough that I did into areas that I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here right now. This is not where RE2 begins, by me going in this hallway.
Yeah.
And then like going into another room and being like, in RE2, there's like 8 zombies in this room. Why are you forcing me to go in here? And then no one's there, and you're like, there's just constantly upending expectations. And one moment I want to talk about that I love, which makes me get Lisa Trevor vibes of thinking like, oh, if they, RE2 to me was so much more dramatic than RE1. It took such leaps and bounds in the story and making me care more about characters and introducing really true horrifying villains that were just normal people just doing terrible things even before the virus outbreak happened.
Yeah.
Getting the book from that one cop who kind of theorized, I think there's a way out, and I think there's puzzles that we have to solve.
Best.
I'm sorry, this happened in the demo.
Happened in the demo.
In the
So
remake.
like, I need you to take what I have logged down, Last Crusade style. Like, I put it in this journal. You need to take that and then move it forward. I get the first piece of that in front of Marvin. I put it into the statue that I had done before. That begins to unlock this new area that I'm going to venture into. And Marvin behind me in real time says, "Wow, so he was right." So that guy that's now dead that wrote that journal, some of us thought he was crazy, but like, wow, he actually was onto something.
And it's not a cutscene.
It's not a cutscene. He's just saying that.
That
and
is
then
cool.
just actually adding context and threads between these moments that we are familiar with, but making them even more elaborate, surprising. And it's just like, I just wasn't expecting that. I just had the lowest common denominator every single time RE2 was brought up because like, I don't want to get excited. And I'm more excited than I thought I was going to be. I'm more excited every single damn time we talk about it.
And when we're talking about Desire Index, man, I think it matters that we got that date as January.
I think it does matter. I absolutely think it
does
matters.
matter.
Yeah.
So we have 9 games
so
slotted
close
in.
yet so far. It's like right at that point of like, I can see it, but it's so far away.
We had a lot of games I want to talk about, but I think we need to maximize drama because we only have one more game to slot in tonight. We have 9 games slotted in, Huber.
Okay.
We have 9 games slotted in?
Yeah, we only
Really?
have room for one more.
Okay.
And that last game
Dare you to say Mega Man 11.
is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Ooh, wrench in the system.
All right. All right.
So, go ahead.
What is the open number spot that we have?
So the new open number slot is 9. So we're gonna have to do some bumping, unless it's number 9. Hey, if it's number 9, that's a legitimate answer. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We did have a new Super Smash Bros. Game announced earlier this year when we saw the Inklings. in Nintendo's first Nintendo Direct of the year. Yeah, I'll just let you look at this.
All right,
Hubert, if
everyone
that'll help
shut
me.
up.
Oh,
It's number 4.
I was just gonna do that.
okay.
Yep.
It's number 4.
Hubert uses everyone shut up.
I agree with the number 4 spot completely.
Sure.
Bump everything down. Slides right in there.
May I see where we're slotting that in? I lost track of where that is. So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you desire that more than Kingdom Hearts 3.
Wait, no.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Sorry, you desire it more than Halo Infinite.
Yes.
Okay. But less than Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
That was
But
less dramatic than I thought.
wait.
That was less dramatic than I thought.
If we have Resident Evil 2 at number 1,
Yes.
and then Cyberpunk at number 2,
Yeah. Last of Us is number 3.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Sorry.
running into a problem
Yeah.
here.
This is all. So, right. You're
Then
putting it
number
number
five.
5.
Number
You're putting it
five.
number 5.
Then Kingdom Hearts, number 4. Smash, number 5.
Smash is number 5. Smash is in the middle of the Desire Index. It's number 5.
Okay. Everybody shut up. Suggestion.
Uh-huh.
We just named Cyberpunk 2077
Yes.
our game of show
Yeah.
because it had an incredible showing at E3.
Uh-huh.
But we're talking about desires.
Yes.
Okay.
Desires.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm working with. We have dates for Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Yeah, we do.
We have dates. We have a date for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
And we have a date for Smash Bros. Ultimate.
December 7th. I should have said that. Yes.
I honestly feel like we can say with confidence that we, at this table, maybe not Brandon, but the three of us are going to enjoy and play dozens of hours of Smash Bros.
I have no
Ultimate.
input on this.
Dozens.
This is about the three of you.
Okay.
Dozens of hours.
Dozens of hours.
Dozens.
Yes.
Okay.
Weekly
we
rolls.
know.
Weekly
Yeah.
rolls.
And I think that confidence in its ability to please is important. Cyberpunk 2077 could be years away.
Could be.
And I think that dampens the desire index. It's not that we're not interested or
Yeah.
that it's not going to be incredible. I believe I have full confidence in how good it's going to be.
You understand the system, yes.
But these other ones are on my tongue right now. I can taste it, and that's
Yeah.
intoxicating.
I agree.
I think we reorient it.
I agree.
Okay.
And my position is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Oh, the only other thing that I want to say with Last of Us 2 is Huber's love for The Last of Us transcends time and space. So I don't know if we're moving that. Okay? So Resident Evil 2 Remake, The Last of Us 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and then Cyberpunk, and then the rest of the list.
Okay.
Jones, you're okay with that?
I'm all right with that.
We started
okay.
Cyberpunk number 1.
It was
And
one of
now-
the first
Yeah,
things we talked about.
we just
It was
moved
one
it
of the,
down to
the
number
first
4.
games that you brought up.
And we
brings
said,
up a great
what are we
point.
going to talk about that's going to knock them down?
So
it's
brings up
not
a
only-
really great point because when games are that far away, I put up a
Right.
defensive mechanism of like I don't even want to think about.
And I think
Cyberpunk.
it's a twofold discussion. One, we're trying to process all of our hopes and desires coming off of E3, and we're also trying to figure out this weird bit that Kyle has planned. And
Yeah.
so I think during the process of the entire thing,
I know I don't
we
make it easy for
eventually
you.
arrive at where we are, what the point of the whole thing is.
So I'm sorry, Ben,
And I
was
think
your
Ben has done that beautifully.
was your proposition to make it Cyberpunk number 5 or number 4?
number
to make
5,
it
I
number
think.
5.
To number 5. Okay. And we're all cool with that.
yeah.
Sure.
All right. So that concludes it for this week. I don't envy the people next week. We have more big games. We got Ghost of Tsushima to fit in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's
We
gonna
have
be,
Death
there's gonna be
Stranding
some
to fit in
rage.
there somewhere. It's going to be tricky to fit the rest of these games
I
in
was
there.
waiting to use my
If-
shut up card for Dragon Quest.
The one thing
Dragon
that I
Quest
think
gotta
you
fit in
could
there
have
somewhere?
thrown in there that
Uh-huh.
would have made this just hell is Mega Man 11 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just curious.
No talk of Spider-Man
Where-
too. So
oh,
I'm just
Spider-Man,
like-
we got to fit in there somewhere. Would Mega Man be in the top 5 for you?
Yeah.
In my personal list, Mega Man would be in the top 3.
Wow.
Probably. Yeah.
And I can't even call myself a Mega Man enthusiast. I really like Mega Man, but Mega Man 11 was one of the best games I
What
played
is it,
at
Hubert?
E3. It is simply perfect.
It's so good.
Okay, so I'm going to, just for everybody at home, I realize that was hard to keep track of. Here is your list. I lost one. Oh, Halo Infinite is now number 6. Got it. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's hard for me to keep track too. Okay, so number 10 on the Desire Index, Babylon's Fall. I don't expect that to bump up a lot throughout the year until we get a trailer. Number 9, Team Sonic Racing. I don't know what's going to happen to bump that game up.
They add
It's got some
Shenmue.
pretty stiff competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got hey, look, a lot of good games coming out.
Open the floodgates.
Number 8, Skull and Bones. I think has a shot at bumping up, but that's just where it landed. Number 7, Fallout 76. I don't know. Maybe if the beta goes off the charts, we'll see it rise.
Some nukes start firing.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see it
Man.
falling.
Now that I'm hearing it, maybe we switch to the two of them.
Skull and Bones and Fallout 76. It's not too late.
No, Fallout was ahead of Skull and Bones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel crazy with
I'm
that.
okay with it. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Next though, at number 6, Halo Infinite. Number 5, Cyberpunk 2077.
It seems so wrong, but it's
To desire it is pain at
it's
this point.
exactly
wrong now.
To desire it
But
is
we
pain.
got 4. Keep reading.
I'm not doing myself a favor by desiring that game
You know what?
in June of 2018.
I think I should have explained Smash Ultimate too.
But I will very much be impressed at what they showed at E3. Both of those things can exist at
I
the
guess
same
yeah,
time.
this is what the Desire Index is
Right.
all about.
I
Yeah.
feel like Cyberpunk 2077 right now, like you're going on an international flight.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you're super excited. But when you get on the plane
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
doing the 12-hour flight,
Oh yeah.
you know.
I'm in the middle.
You
Are you
got to
kidding
focus
me?
on the next
Yeah.
movie you're
right,
going to watch.
Right, exactly. Once you get off the plane, everything changes.
Smash Ultimate, by the way, is the game coming to Switch. It has everybody. It has every single Smash character.
Everybody.
I don't know if I've ever seen a roster like this where it's like, hey, every character's in this. We didn't cut a single soul. Pichu's in, baby.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, kind of, Huber. I feel like it didn't leave E3 with the most hype. I don't think it's going to win a lot of Best of E3 awards.
I feel like that's only because it's as good as everyone expects, you know? It's
Yes.
hard for these games to wow people and shake people up.
I think there's nothing wild about it. Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing wild. There's no Doc Brown spider monster.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But it's just Smash being Smash, and that is fine, and that is great.
To me, it's crazy that they're taking all these characters, but they're fundamentally thinking, how do we make this character the best it can be? I think that's truly interesting what they're doing with this game.
Yeah, the presentation just diving into the nitty gritty mechanics.
Yes.
It's awesome.
65 characters, 65. I mean, Solid Snake is back in the game somehow.
I desire
What's the
getting
David
better
Hayter?
at Smash.
Yep. Sorry?
I desire getting better at
Yes.
Smash whenever that happens. If
it's number 4, Jones. It is number 4 on our
Alright.
most desired games. Number 3, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Number 2, The Last of Us Part 2.
hell yeah.
And number 1, the most desired game from Easy Allies is Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Feels good. It feels so good.
That was fun, actually.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't get torn down week by week. We'll see what happens with this list.
There is one massive game that I feel like should be like either put in a separate category all by itself.
We can't have that.
Brandon Jones.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to slot that.
That's
in.
not like an E3 thing, you know?
But I mean,
we
in
didn't
weeks
learn
to come-
anything. We're
in
not
weeks
at a
to come,
different
We gotta
point.
slot it in, man.
Alright.
I'm gonna bring it up next week.
The desire index, man.
Yeah,
Jones is skyrocketing
I'll
that
be
to
here
the
in this
top.
chair ready to talk
Because-
about it.
Yeah, because you know, Jones, I think it might be interesting to bring it up in the conversation because it's like, how much does E3 affect how much you desire a game? For a lot of these games, it mapped them. But Resident Evil 2, or sorry, Red Dead Redemption 2 was not there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was negatively affected by E3, so we'll have to see really.
Tomorrow would be a fun time to drop that multiplayer trailer.
Based on what we've
like-
seen so far, I would put Resident Evil 2 Remake above Red Dead Redemption 2, but that could change with a single trailer.
Oh, the trailer that gets everyone freaking out hasn't even been
No, I know,
released
I
yet.
know.
Yeah.
When that happens,
Yeah, I think it's like a long shot of you just like hitching your horse. You know, you walk into a town, hitch your horse, walk into a saloon, dude. That's the trailer they
I
did.
hope
so close.
that one of these companies out there, before they put the trailer live, they just have like this devilish grin and they're like, time to ratchet up the desire index.
Coming for that number 1 spot.
Going up. Bye-bye, Kingdom Hearts.
It is now time for Love and Respect.
That was fun.
Very.
Love and respect.
I don't want to do too much E3. We're gonna do something that is irrelevant to E3. We're gonna play a game.
Nice.
We went through a lot of. I think that was brutal. I think that was almost Kill Your Baby style. We
Yeah.
did some rough work there. Let's play a
Cal-
very silly game. What's up?
What's 1 to 10 hype level for Red Dead? Where you at?
Dude, I'm not too high.
Oh,
I'm not too high on Red Dead right now.
all right,
You
we'll
need
get
more.
you.
Yep.
We'll get his desire
Understandable.
up. We'll
Yeah,
get his
yeah.
desire up, Jones. We'll pump him.
Yeah, I do need more. This comes to us from Austin Kruckmeyer. Hello, allies. One of my favorite ways games developers go the extra mile is putting smaller games inside their games. What I refer to is when these games within games go beyond the term minigame and uses mechanics and theming outside of the game's core.
Yes.
A lot of them are used as effective world builders, and you get the sense that they are passion projects of developers that are going the extra mile. I wanted to test the knowledge of the allies on games within games with a little game of my own.
Holy moly.
Kyle will list the name of the game, the name of a game within game, and it is the allies' job to guess what game it originates from. For example, Gwent is Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
The best.
Let's talk about Gwent. Yep.
Cyberpunk.
Yep. The answers will be in multiple choices, but please yell out the answers if you want to right away. Okay,
Nice.
here we go.
No Hotake rules here, Ben
Oh, yeah,
Sama.
and honestly, I won't be keeping track of the scores. We're just,
wild.
I think this is just funny for the trivia. I think this is what's fun about this.
I think we might change Caught in a Frame Trap to just shout it first.
Shut it first.
Keep it
Triple
simple.
triad.
Final Fantasy.
9.
Final Fantasy.
8.
Yeah, it's 8. It's 8 because
eight.
Tetramaster is
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and they seem to like build off each
Yeah.
other. Yeah. Good one to open with. I like that. Triple triad, Final Fantasy VIII. Really fun. Just fun to have a little card game. Geometry Wars. Did
With-
you know this started
Whoa.
off as a game within a game?
What?
It did.
I just played 3, Kyle, and I was like, looking
Cool.
into
So
it.
you want some multiple choice?
Yeah.
It is Project Gotham Racing 2.
That's it.
Yep, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't
Well
that
done,
cool?
Huber.
Geometry Wars started off as a game within Project Gotham Racing.
And not like a game you unlocked, like you like went into the menu of Project Gotham Racing and like booted up, or was it like with?
I think it was like Far Cry
with
style. where there's, like,
PGR,
an
you
arcade
unlock-
cabinet,
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't like a cheat code or something. It was, and it wasn't like, this
Yeah.
includes like Tetris. It was its own like strange, for some reason this is in this game. And this one I think was a total like passion project thing. I totally think that somebody like, hey, can we put this in? They're like, yeah, Dave, let's do it. That kind of thing. Pazaak.
What?
Pazaak.
You need Blood Earth for this one.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's a Star Wars game.
What?
Knights of the Republic?
Yes, Ben.
Nice.
Can you tell me what that is? I've never played Knights of the Old Republic.
Zach.
Pazaak. Do you want to play Pazaak?
No, I can't.
Yeah, right. It's just one of those huge RPGs. Nobody remembers Pazaak.
No,
I
I
love
played
that.
so much Knights of the Republic, and I
Yeah.
like it just nothing.
Nothing.
Coin launcher. This will be way easier when I tell you the games. It's either Shenmue 2, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, or Tomodachi Life.
Tomodachi Life, probably.
Not Shenmue. Wait.
It's Smash Bros. Brawl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You use coins and you would get trophies out of it.
What was the old GT coin game? The arcade thing
It might pop up.
that
Hold on.
everybody would play. The arcade cabinet. There was a GT that was like coin, it was money based.
Oh, and
Money
people would,
puzzle
like, quote it all the
exchanger or
time.
something like
Yeah.
that.
No
or
idea,
like,
dude.
yeah.
Game trailers you're talking about. Yeah.
Game trailers.
Game trailers. Pioro, which means bird and bean.
Jeez.
These are great.
This
If
sounds
these are just gonna
vaguely
get harder.
familiar.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, boy.
That's in either Mario Party Advance, Chibi Robo, or WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games.
Complete guess. Chibi Robo.
It's not Chibi Robo.
WarioWare.
Yeah, it is WarioWare. I gotta wonder what Pioro is because the game's called Mega Micro Games, and the purpose of this whole thing is a game within a game.
Right.
I gotta believe there's something substantial to Pioro. Easy one. Here we go. Justice Monster 5.
Oh, Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
Nice.
Not as good as the card games.
No.
Not as good.
No.
I played it like
Nowhere
until
near.
I got the trophy, basically.
Yeah.
It's
What
like-
is it again?
It's the like pinball kind of.
It's like a pachinko game.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
it's
pinball,
like-
pachinko,
Okay,
just
yeah.
real dumb. It's a mobile game.
It's not very fun.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Spitfire.
You'll get caught up in the.
Spitfire. Is that in Deus Ex Invisible War, Fallout 4, or BioShock 2?
Fallout?
No.
Oh, wow. It's not Deus Ex. Don't even tell me it's Deus Ex.
It's in BioShock 2, a game called
Okay.
Spitfire. I love that.
I played all of BioShock 2
Yeah,
and I do
don't
not remember
remember.
Spitfire.
I love that. I love
Cool.
that so
What,
much.
what is
Seriously.
Spitfire?
I don't know, man.
What?
Finished Bioshock
We gotta
2.
play Spitfire.
Yes.
Have
Yeah,
no
yes.
idea.
Yes, yes.
No clue.
Cubed, and the E is a 3.
Oh, I know this.
Sorry, and the C is a Q, so it's QUB 3D.
Damn.
Oh, give me those games.
All right, I'm gonna give you the games, and Jones is going to be even more humiliated. It's either
Oh,
Bully.
it's GTA 5. 4.
GTA 4.
Yeah, I remember.
It's GTA 4.
Yeah.
What is it? What is this?
It was like, I want to say it was like a stacking game. It
sounds
was,
like one,
It was
yeah.
in the bar though,
Oh,
and you could like, I remember you could go into the bar and play it there.
Cubed.
I remember that.
very, very
Cubed.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have put that in the retro. Cubed.
Cubed. Game called Caravan. Is that in Fallout New Vegas, Wasteland 2, or Metro Last Light? I like those kind of theme
New
too.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Probably New
Ian.
Vegas, yeah.
Do you remember the game?
I remember there being like text adventures or I don't remember it though. I remember the name being on a console, but I don't remember.
Cool. Boxelios. B-O-X
Of course.
C-E-L-I-O-S. Boxelios. That's in Shenmue 2, No More Heroes 2, or Yakuza 3.
No more heroes too.
In your dreams, it's Yakuza 3.
Whoa.
Yes.
What is
What
Buxelios?
is Finish
I gotta know.
Yakuza 3, I have no idea what Bucks
Right,
is.
Yes. I love this. Boxelios.
Deep shame. Deep shame.
Deep
The
shame,
two of you.
deep shame.
Yeah.
It's
Deep
like,
shame.
what's
Yeah.
the? Of course, I know GTA 4. So.
I mean, it's been how many years has it been? It's probably
been a minute. But what's
5 years since I played Yakuza 3.
But it brings up a great point, is that we finished BioShock and Yakuza, and we have no idea what these games are.
I know,
They're
I
just
love it.
hidden
Yeah.
within.
I mean, you
and
could-
that's so cool.
You could do this with like character names too. Like there's
course.
so many
Yeah.
characters that I don't remember from
Tin
their names.
Pin Slammer.
Tin Pin Slammer?
Tin Pin Slammer.
I just want to play Boxelios.
I wanna play
Yes, I love these names. Tin Pin Slammer is a game I'd like to play. Is that in The World Ends With You, Skies of Arcadia, or Retro City Rampage?
Retro City Rampage.
No.
Oh, jeez. This guy's for Arcadia? Okay, yeah.
It's in The World Ends With You, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Love that. Bizarre Jelly 5.
Nice.
Is that in Dragon Quest 9,
This is great.
No More Heroes 2, or Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Ultimate All-Stars?
No More Heroes 2.
Yes.
There it is.
There it is. Bizarre Jelly 5.
Those mini games.
I'm in.
A lot
Okay.
of mini games in No More Heroes.
3 more.
Okay.
Tiger.
Oh my god. No. Okay.
You got it, Ben.
Yeah. Tiger. No.
You'll get there.
Ben, you played this game recently.
Yes, I did.
Sounds like a fighting game.
no.
Oh,
no.
I don't know what the actual game is, right? You played it on Switch.
Why? It's there, Kyle. I know I played this recently.
Give him the choices. Give him
Tiger
the-
sounds so familiar. Hold on. I played this on Switch and I played it recently.
I mean within the last year when I say recently. I don't mean this
Yeah,
year. I mean
yeah.
within the last 12 months.
Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes, dude.
There we go.
Yes.
All of a sudden, that would have pissed me off,
What
Kyle,
is
if
it?
you'd read that list.
What's Tiger? What is it?
Yeah, so it's you have Poppy and you have to upgrade her, and the way that you get like new parts for her is you play this mini game,
Cool.
and it gets infuriating.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
It actually gets very, very
yes,
hard. Okay.
Yes, it's hard. Basically, you're like trying to go, and there are things you can collect, and you have to like grapple onto them and grab them as you go. You go down, and then you go up, and you have to dodge stuff on the way up too.
Why is it called Tiger?
I don't know.
Tiger up.
Oh, okay. Tiger. Yeah, it's like Tiger. Journey of the Prairie King.
Okay.
What?
Tomodachi Life. Harvest Moon. Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Yes.
Wow,
Journey of the
minigames of
Prairie
Stardew
King.
Valley.
Yeah, that's cool. Last one. Tree Dude.
Excellent.
Is Tree Dude in Pony Island, Super Hot, or Five Nights at Freddy 4?
Pony Island.
I don't know.
Five Nights at Freddy
Five
4.
Nights at Freddy.
Super Hot. Oh,
Tree
there's a
Dude?
game called Tree Dude within Super Hot.
Where?
I don't know.
I played that too, and it's not that long. Where's Tree?
I wonder if it's in not the VR. I wonder because I played the
Exclusively
original
played
version of
VR,
Super
yeah.
Hot very quickly, and then found the VR and
I
you know
didn't
never
play
looked
VR.
back.
It's not Super Hot VR. It's Super Hot.
But
yeah,
there
yeah,
is
just
there
straight up
is this
Super Hot.
really unhinged narrative where you're hacking a lot, and so like the narrative is all over the place. So like I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a fun little Easter egg in there.
At the end,
Okay, so I see us going through a directory.
yeah,
Okay.
you got to dig for that game, I imagine.
And so it looks like MS DOS here.
I did not play this in Super
My name
Hot.
is Tree Dude, or his name is Tree
Whoa.
Dude. Yo, look at Tree
Whoa,
Dude.
dude.
Did not see this at all.
So it looks like a very simple game where you're just going left or right, trying not to get hit as you climb a tree. But it's all ASCII, is how you pronounce it? ASCII graphics. Man, that's a fun little game.
That looks fun.
I gotta be honest, that's a mini game. That's not a game within a game.
totally.
That one's totally a mini game. But yeah, that's really cool.
That looks
Tree Dude.
really fun.
That
You're hardcore if you know about Tree Dude.
I feel ashamed with that game.
That's a fun game. I like that.
It was fun.
Yeah, I wish though that the person was here. I wish that Austin was here. So whenever he said, "What is that?" Austin could say, "Oh, well, it was this game where you do this and this and this, and this is how you got to it." Yeah.
The Knights of the Old Republic one, I think, is the one that's driving me the most crazy.
Was it Kazakh?
Kazakh.
Will
That's a
you
very Star Wars name, too, which is-
Boxelios, dude.
Will the meatbags
Box-
play Kazakh?
Boxelios.
I can't even think of
Boxelios.
I
Look up Boxelios, because I love updates. I love when people send in updates, and we got to do an update one. And it's a doozy. Hey, guys, just a quick update. Just to prepare you at home. This is not a quick update. On some games and systems I picked up at the Retro GameStop last weekend. Somebody wrote in, hey, I love retro games. I'm thinking about buying a retro console because I missed it in my life. What do you recommend? And we give lots of recommendations, but mostly like, hey, like feel the games, feel the vibes. What you like is what you like. Yeah. And the
Feel the games.
Feel the game.
Feel the games.
Play the games. Okay. I walked in and the vibe was awesome. And it really felt like I stepped into a time machine. Everything was so overwhelming, but it was amazing. I looked at every box in that store and I walked around for 45 minutes and I spotted an NES and I just couldn't pass it up. Then I found a game that I couldn't ignore. It was Friday the 13th
Oh,
for
jeez.
NES.
Oh, no.
man.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna skip ahead. Picked up Castlevania, Contra, the original Final Fantasy. PS1 got Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Silent Hill, Soul Reaver, Final Fantasy VII, and Tactics.
Yes!
that was yours, right, Joe?
Tactics was my main one. Yeah.
Yes.
Game.
Good
Yes.
haul.
Kingdom Hearts collections, Resident Evil Remaster for PS4. Went to the counter to check out, and the nice gentleman looked at me with a big smile. And when he saw Friday the 13th, told me it was one of the worst games ever made. I didn't care in the slightest. I wanted this game so bad. Then I brought it home and ended up playing it for 5 hours straight. I was laughing so hard when Jason in his purple jumpsuit would just pop up on the road. Random zombies would just appear for no reason.
Yeah.
The music was on a 5-second loop for the entire game.
Yes, it is.
All I had for a weapon at the start was rocks. I was literally killing Jason with rocks. It was one of the funnest games I had ever played in for a long while. I haven't been able to play everything yet, but I did start with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Kingdom Hearts, and I'm having a blast with them. So thank you so much for all the help. I just took your advice and went with what made my heart race, and I'm
Nice.
having the best time ever. Love and respect, Megan L.
So great.
Love that update.
You were living your
Yes.
best life.
Yes.
Good vibes.
We gotta play that Friday the 13th at Easy Living.
It's truly
Yeah.
bad, though. It's truly a bad
But
game.
it's
sounds
easy. You
amazing.
could use some bad games.
Yeah. Throw it in the rotation.
Extra point of shame. I quickly looked up Boxelios.
Yeah.
And like if I had seen an image of it, I think I would have gotten it
Describe it to
immediately.
us. Describe
so
what
it's
that is.
it's like this shmup that you can play in the
Oh, cool.
arcade, and it's like their own thing. And you can, not only is it in Yakuza 3, I just recently played through Yakuza 4 as well, and it's in there too.
Boxelios comes back.
Yeah. I think in Yakuza 4 you can play Boxelios 2.
That's fun. So what's strange to me, Ben, is that Yakuza normally just uses straight up arcade games.
Right.
From Sega. What is special about Boxelios? Is it kind of
I don't think
humorous?
there's any. Honestly, I don't think there's anything remarkable about Boxelios. I've played it multiple times in multiple Yakuza games, and every time I play it like once or maybe twice, I'm like, this is boring, and I stop.
Somebody just
Like-
wanted to make a game.
like, playing Taiko Drum Master songs
Yes.
or Virtua Fighter is way more fun, or Outrun is way more fun, or Space Harrier than Boxelios.
So it's like another
is not
Dave moment.
Boxelios is not a remarkable minigame within Yakuza.
By the way, Virtual On and Kiwami 2, come on.
Yeah, come on.
I know.
Come
Honestly,
on.
It's on.
That's it for Love and Respect. It's time for bets. Next week's bet, Mario Tennis Aces releases Friday, June 22nd. How many tennis balls will be on the back of the box, Brandon Jones?
5.
5. So you're saying 5 screenshots.
4 screenshots, 1 big Mario coming on top of all of that, smacking
Okay.
another ball. So
You know that's a smart bet, Ben.
4.
Yeah.
5.
Oh!
Ah.
I went with 7. Ian Hink, your bet.
4.
Whoa.
Nice. Let me lock those in. I would ask you at home. This happens to me every Monday night. I don't have the game box because I just downloaded it, and then I look online to try to find the game box, and I can't. If you buy this game at a store, please tweet me. Just tell me how many tennis balls there are in the back of the box. It would really simplify things for me. I would truly appreciate that.
Question, Kyle.
Yeah.
The American box, right? Because sometimes like the French box
Yes.
has different art.
American box.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. The United States box for Mario Tennis Aces would be
U.S.
appreciated.
unless otherwise stated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I'd like
Yeah.
to drop a bet update.
Oh, John.
This was a group stream bet. It was a bet that somebody reminded me of recently, and it is a bet that I won against Michael Huber.
What is
and
this?
I tweeted it at you, and we haven't brought it up in conversation, and I don't know if you
Are
saw
there
this
stakes
tweet.
involved, or is it just as a bet?
Oh, there are stakes, my friend.
I got one too, actually. Let's go. We got to dump on Huber right now. Let's go.
The bet was,
Yeah.
by the end of E3 2018, will Grand Theft Auto 5 be announced for the Nintendo Switch?
Oh yeah, man.
The hell am I doing betting for Rockstar?
All of his Rockstar claims over the last 12 months have been grossly inaccurate.
Yep.
And he has just, for some reason, brought me into his world. And I've fought at every turn. And I'm so happy that I won this. And
Yeah.
do you remember the stakes?
No, I do not.
You
This
need
is
to
so-
watch 8, count 'em, 8, of Will Ferrell films of my choosing.
Holy shit! And he only has a month.
Because if I lost, I had to watch the entire first season of Gotham.
it was fair, yeah,
which
yeah.
was
It was an eye for an
much
eye.
longer than 8 Will Ferrell films. And
Dude.
you got some fans out there on social media, Huber, because they have been like, "Just please let him watch this movie." And I'm like, oh no. No. No.
Give me one. Will Ferrell.
Kicking and Screaming, the soccer film, is going to be number 1 on that list.
Are you gonna give him Stranger Than Fiction at least?
Nope. Nope. No Ron Burgundy. None of that. No.
How about Ron Burgundy 2?
Bewitched is
Dude,
definitely
at
going
least
to be on that
Gotham
list
is
too.
good, Jones. Gotham
Bewitched
is
for
good.
sure.
Yeah, wait, that's not fair, Jones, because the reason was you wanted him to like Will Ferrell, right? Like, Hubert doesn't like Will Ferrell. He doesn't like his comedies. Like, you want him to learn to like Will Ferrell, right?
Why? What?
I wanted you to like Gotham. That's
I
where
want
it
him to
was
stop.
coming
I
from.
know, and that's valiant of you. I want you to stop harassing me about Rockstar goals. I want you to just let me anticipate my Rockstar titles in peace, you
Sure.
madman.
I think season
So-
1 of Gotham is so much easier to swallow. Holy shit.
8 Will Ferrell movies. He's gonna hate him though. He's gonna leave those 8 movies hating Will Ferrell.
If it was 3, I'd still be gawking.
Wow.
And I think we
gotta
gave you
devote a day
I
to
think
it.
we gave you a month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be much more lenient. I will just harass you occasionally to get that done.
Okay.
I will accept a little Will Ferrell book report every now and then.
So I have one for Hubert too. This was
Wait.
just tweeted at me as well.
What if Huber? We could do commentaries on him. Reaction shots. Will Ferrell bad movie
Oh my
commentaries.
god. If you want to, Ian.
Hey man, whatever.
Kind of funny does every Marvel movie. Easy Allies does Will Ferrell
The
movies.
WFU.
Holy moly.
I'm so excited.
WFU is very
And like
funny.
so many of the best
Yes.
bets, I would have completely missed this. I wish I could credit the person that tweeted it at me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you to those on
For
Twitter who
updating
keep
me
us
of that
honest.
because I was so confident in that.
So-
and everyone was against me. If you go back and watch that group stream, everyone thought I was out of my mind. Bloodworth especially was like, of course it's coming to Switch. I was
Wow.
like, no.
That's a good win then, Jones. That's a really good win.
Feel good.
Blood-wrecked.
Because what was announced for Switch? Like L.A. Noir was.
Yes, El
Yeah.
Noir was recently
had
announced
recently
for Switch.
announced,
Yeah.
Yep.
Huber, I got one too. So somebody tweeted this at me. Was watching our Resident Evil 7 playthrough. I think
Nice.
we made a bet at the end of this.
Oh god, what did I get myself
It's
into?
extremely relevant. You said Resident Evil 2 remake would have fixed camera
Oh,
angles,
okay.
and
I have
because
no problem losing this bet.
because you were wrong, you have to write 5 pages of fanfic
5 pages.
Yep.
What are these stakes, dude?
about what happens to Hunk.
Oh, okay. This is fun. This is a pleasure.
What
This is
happens
going to be
to
stream of
Yeah.
consciousness,
What happens
man.
to
Almost
Hunk?
like a, can it be 10? As
Yeah,
soon as
yeah.
you said hung.
Just
Yeah.
close your eyes and let your fingers do the
fan
work.
fiction about
Yeah,
what happens
okay.
to Hunk between Resident Evil 2 and 7?
Okay. Perfect.
I don't want you to hold back, Huber. If you have any kind of creative juice flowing,
Yeah.
just let it flow. Let
I'm
it
going
flow.
home tonight.
Single
and
space,
doing this.
double space,
Yeah.
14, 16.
Put
like,
on
what are we
Bewitched
doing
and
for-
just type away.
Yes, double
rules.
space.
Double
okay?
space is cool,
Double
I think.
space is-
Also, if
yeah.
you do script format, I'm cool with that too.
Okay.
Whatever you want, dude.
Okay.
Just 5 pages. Give us something.
Okay.
Tell us a story.
Okay. And how about next time I'm on the Easy Allies podcast?
That's really soon. That could be
next
3
week.
weeks from now.
Yeah. Dude, I'm serious. I'm gonna go home and like start.
Wow, about Hunk? You care about this?
feeling
You got
it
this
right
much to say about Hunk?
Yeah,
Okay.
feeling it.
All right.
Feeling the hunk hype.
It's not all
And
winning.
I gotta
though.
get out of the way for these Will Ferrell movies, so
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
get
true.
to work.
Yeah, you can do both. You can kill two birds. Ben, you and I lost a bet, most likely, about Metroid Prime 4 coming out this year.
Oh yeah.
So we have to write a duet about Samus.
This is
That's a good one.
yeah. There's a few bets that I am behind on. One of those is I don't even remember what the bet was. I just remember what I have to do. I have to do like a 20-second Buck Bumble rap.
I do remember this one. It was about whether Hat in Time from their official
Right,
Twitter account
right.
would congratulate or even mention Mario Odyssey on
Right.
the day of its release.
I like a month and a half ago. I was like, hey, I'll do that.
Yeah.
At this point, and then we forgot
Buck
about it. in the
Bumble
moment.
rap, man.
That Dragon's
gotta
Quest
do it.
stream is happening, or Dragon's,
Dragon's
Crown.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
happening imminently.
Imminently.
Like within a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is imminent.
It's been a busy month. Yeah, it's easy to forget all these
It's
things.
been a busy month, and unfortunately, I'm going out of town. But
Yeah.
like we're talking about it, we're trying to make it happen.
sure.
We're gonna
I mean-
cash in on these bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is the first time you're listening to this
Horror
podcast,
movies.
yeah, we're nuts about bets.
We're out of control.
We're out of control about
That
bets.
is insane.
Building a
dude.
Titan costume is
Yeah.
nothing compared to that.
That is E3 betting special stakes.
8 Will Ferrell
That
movies.
is insane.
It was your fault for saying season 1 of Gotham. You offered that first. That's on you.
And I took those stakes proudly. I was like, you got it, baby. You got it. I get season 1 of Gotham and GTA 5 on Switch. Win-win.
You got to be careful what you offer. Last week's bet is about Lego The Incredibles on Switch, which released last Friday, the Friday of E3. How many critic reviews will it have on Metacritic at this point right now? I'm going to refresh just in case something pops up. But let me tell you what everybody bet. Jones, you bet 38, thinking that maybe it would be user reviews.
Yeah.
Damiani bet 5. Huber, you bet 8. I bet 9. Ian, you bet 6. And the actual number of critic reviews for the Switch version of Lego The Incredibles is 2.
Who said the least?
Damiani said the least. That's good for you. That's,
Oh, yeah, right,
yeah,
right,
he's on your team. Nintendo Life and Destructoid got the reviews in. Nobody else did. You want me to even like Jones? I'll check on user reviews. I bet user reviews is like 2, right?
None.
0.
Oh, no.
There is not a
Zero.
single user review for the Switch version of Lego The
Go
Incredibles.
to the PS4 version.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Actually, yeah. Wait, oh, I can click there.
Yeah, right there. Click that.
There, yep. Oh, 10. There are 10 user reviews
Nice.
for the PS4 version.
Only one critic though.
Yeah, and one
Less.
critic for the one PS4 version. Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
I mean, the game's probably going to do what they expected it to do. The game's not for us. It's not for the people who know of Metacritic.
Movie tie-in. There was
Yeah.
a time when that was a dark thing,
Yeah.
and as time has gone on, I want more of them. Bring them back. Bring back movie tie-in games. I'm ready.
Bring them back.
Like ever since Black Panther. I want that Black Panther
Man,
game,
you can envision
Yes.
a sick Black Panther.
Like, give me
game,
a
right?
7 out of 10 Black Panther game, and I will eat it
I
up.
was envisioning it, and Square Enix said, not yet, bud.
Yeah.
Not yet, buddy. It's coming. It's going to be amazing, but this is not the year. That brings us to Red Grouse 8. Gorgeous Gorillas 12. Droopy Eagle 7. Oh. And Switcher Snakes 2. Patreon.com/Easy Allies is a website I want to talk to you about because that is how we were able to cover E3 as we did. Because Easy Allies is basically crowdfunded. It's easy to say that. Yeah, you know what? It's not basically crowdfunded. It is crowdfunded. Obviously, we have minimal income from YouTube. We have some income from Twitch, but primarily it's Patreon. It is viewers like you and listeners like you. I know a lot of people listen who graciously and kindly give us money every month to just keep operating, keep doing what we do to the best of our ability. So yes, if you're curious, if you want to be one of those people, check out patreon.com/easyallies, see what it's all about, see what we're all about, and see what our tiers are about. And yeah, the levels to which you could give to us. If you give $1 a month, that's in our exclusive shows tier. You get to see not Trailer Jones, Cuppa Jones. Mm-hmm. You gotta put your name in everything, man.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. Cuppa Jones is what? What is that?
That is a weekly show. Most of the time, it is weekly. E3, obviously, we were streaming a lot, and so we did not do an update. But that's me sitting down, spending most of the time talking about business-related questions, concerns that people from our community have, updating people on what we're doing that week, and a little bit of personal stuff at the end where I answer, what. Hey, I'm going to Disney World. What should I check out? Or hey, Batman Ninja came out. What did you think of it?
Still the Batman stuff, huh?
No
still get
Batman
Batman
questions this week, but
Oh, okay,
we
all right.
do get them. And at the very end, I will do an editorial. For example, this week I talked about a lot of VR games that I checked out because
Nice.
we were unable to do impressions of those because we ran out of time during
You
our
play
E3
Tetris
coverage. I did play Tetris Effect and I enjoyed it. The sound effects and music were my favorite part of that. I suggest putting the headphones on when you play that, Kyle. The sound
you
effects
have
and
to in
music
VR.
implementation are really great.
Yeah.
And I will actually be clipping that out and posting that up on our YouTube channel. Every now
Nice.
and then you get a little taste of Cuppa Jones we put up on our YouTube channel.
Cool.
But if you want all of the Cuppa Jones action, it's $1 exclusive.
Sure. And I should say we are mid-season of And For That Reason. A segment that used to kick off this podcast was a little too long. We turned it into its own series that is very strange and wild. That will there will be a new episode for 6 episodes every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
And kudos to Ian Hank for editing those. I think the charm and the finish of all of that stuff. Actually, the pre and post production was definitely an Ian Hank joint. So I was surprised when we finished that. I was like, boy, that's gonna be tricky to put together, and I'm overjoyed with how it turned out.
Little offended because pre-production was entirely me, but okay.
Specifically on the cameras. So like what camera we were using,
Got
and
you.
specifically technically how the writing was 100% you.
And conceptualizing,
Yes.
gathering all the submissions.
Correct.
Okay. I did something.
Did a lot.
Did a lot.
And Omar shot it.
Omar did shoot it.
Yeah, that was really cool. I don't know if you've said that publicly, right? Like Omar shot that thing
Omar.
for $0.00, just out of the kindness of his heart. Omar's a good guy. Okay.
Pretty sure we can say that he shot it?
Oh.
Ah,
Okay, maybe. Yeah, we said.
Omar didn't do nothing.
Omar, you know what? Omar may have or may not have. I have a bad memory. Anybody could have shot that.
confirmed.
Not
Omar,
confirmed.
slacker.
All right, so let's see what the reward was from the objective. Again, that came from East Dragon. Our objective was to pull one off for the old man. Huber accepted this objective.
Yeah.
Ian accepted this objective.
I got it done. Yep.
You don't get to decide if you got it done.
I got it done.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how this
No,
works.
the old man's pumped.
I think you got it done too.
The old man is pumped
Yeah.
that his favorite game, Resident Evil 2 remake, is number 1 on our list.
I'm calling the old man.
Call the old man. The old man is pleased.
Hi, it's Kyle. Yeah. Did Huber pull one off? You sure? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, good night. Huber pulled it off.
He's up late, that old man.
He pulled it off. Oh yeah, he stays up late. He watches the late night shows. Huber, you somehow you pulled one off for the old man. Ian, I guess you didn't.
Hey, what can you do?
What can you do?
Sorry, Ian.
It's all right.
You want to know Huber's secret? He always pulls it off.
He always pulls
jeez.
it off.
No.
All right.
Not with that bet, he didn't.
I think,
None of
I
my
actually
bets.
think he did.
He did, yeah. I got a laugh out of it, so yeah,
I
he
think
pulled it
there's a
off.
big difference between pulling it off and pulling one off.
Yeah, he
No, but-
right,
right,
one
right.
off. He
There are
pulled
so
one
many
off.
ones that it becomes it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ian.
I will do whatever it takes to make sure Brandon Jones watches all of Gotham. It is my
right.
sole mission in
So you're
life
gonna keep
now.
making more
Yep.
bets.
Right.
As
The
long
thing
as
is,
it
like,
takes.
Jones gets to add more. If you
Yeah.
keep his
Stakes
stakes the
every time.
same, he
Yep.
gets to add to the stakes
I'm-
while you keep yours the
I'm
same.
willing to take the hits to make the play.
I think
oh,
by
yeah.
movie 2 you will say that you will go back on that.
By the end of credits of movie 2.
yeah, I was like, ah.
What's the basketball one?
The basketball one.
Will Ferrell playing basketball.
Oh, dear.
They're all
There
bad.
is-
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
where he's got the
basketball.
fro and all.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be one of the 8, right?
Oh my god.
Minor
There's a
league?
basketball
three of
one?
What's it? It's something league
Is
maybe.
it recent?
It's not recent. It was one of his first sports movies. Anyway, Huber, you get a prize.
Oh,
you get a,
Talladega
do I,
Nights is so.
I actually like that movie.
Talladega Nights is pretty
Do I need
funny.
to
It's
like
got
do a
fun.
write up for these?
No
or
write-ups.
just,
No write-ups
like
required.
a
You simply have to
quick-
watch them.
Quick recap.
If a recap
Is
would be
that
nice, I would love a recap.
Like
but
a
not-
verbal recap.
Not required, but yeah, it'd be
Okay.
cool. Hubert, with every objective, there is a reward for accomplishing it.
Okay. Ian gets it too. We were in on it together.
I don't know if Ian's gonna want this.
Okay.
The reward is snake hands.
Ah,
Sorry, your hands are snakes now.
switch your snake hands.
Put that in the
Yeah.
wiki.
I feel like I just went back into tabletop. For a second.
Yeah. Keep track of that. Hubert now has snake hands. Ian can't because you have the soft hands. You have softness +1.
Yeah.
You don't want to mix that with snake hands.
Can't do it.
I'll be the Switcher Snake mascot.
Okay, yeah. We'll just photograph your hands for the poster.
Ben. Poster. Ben, you're in Damiani's seat, okay? Which means you get all the rights and responsibilities, which is, of course, to give your Twitter handles to the world, promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head. You can also, I just decided you can make any last-minute adjustments to the index if you would like to do that. And you can sign off with your trademark sign-off. Take it away, Ben.
You can follow me on Twitter at BenMore035 if you so choose. The Easy Allies video I'd like to promote is I got to interview Takafuji at E3, and I said, after I saw the interview, I said it's like, that was the weirdest thing I've ever done for Easy Allies or game trailers, and it's still true. Not weird in a bad way, though. That is a guy that just being around him, his goofiness and excitement it draws out your goofiness and excitement, and it was so much fun. That is... After interviewing him, that is totally the guy that was at that 2010 Konami press conference going extreme. Like, they are one and the same. It's not just a bit. He just is that person. And it's beautiful. Oh, boy.
Oh, it definitely, to listeners, Ben is taking a long look at the index,
Long, hard look.
seeing if there's any changes that need to be made.
I'm going to say this without justification.
Yeah.
It's the final word.
I'm going to bump Team Sonic Racing above Skull and Bones.
And now your trademark sign off.
Sophie is our supreme ruler.
I am enjoying these microtransactions.